good. Two Gabbins in 2 days. So whenever we have Rob one, it tends to happen.
Yeah.
We may have more than 52 Gabbins this year. You know.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
possible.
Yeah, and probably about 50 or 48, 49 legends or something like that. That's what we usually have, like just under 50, I think.
Hey Dale, can you hear me?
Hello, Dale. Oh, good.
Awesome. Boy, I need this coffee. Whew.
I have a little bit of yogurt, so I have a snack here. Yeah.
Rob Coots is now typing in chat cannon fire. What's up? I like how there's multiple people in chat and it says there's one person on. Isn't that awesome? Typical wonders of Twitch. Yeah, that number's wrong. I'll tell you in a second. Let me turn the sound down on this. So he asked, I think if you might need turn the sound way down. He asked Anna and me to be on. I just want to make sure. He asked Anna and me to be on Lord Masters Arcanum, but I think he has Robert Schwab on, and he's like, "Oh, I got confused on the date." So I think we're going to be on the 6th of September now. That's what I think. Just check with him. I can't do the 30th. I can't do a week from Wednesday, but I can. Yeah, so, but it's all right. I think he had a little confusion there, but it's all right. Cynthia's lurking is fine as always. Woo! All right. Nice. Let's see what we got here. Yes, this is about magical spells with Buck Rogers.
Yes,
Exactly
Buck Rogers.
And why Hawk was a dumb character. And second season. There you go. You keep? Yeah, we're good. I think I'm good. Waiting for our other. Thanks, Patrick. Tier 2. Thank you, man. I'm waiting for. Anna and I are on, but we got Will and the ever mysterious Tim coming on. So. Tons of fun tonight. Okay, look for it. Oh, let me do this now. I remember. I think we're at least going to do. I've been sandbagging a $25 gift certificate for Troller Games, so that's at least what we're going to get with. We may do, something too. So. Let's see. Cool. I got too much stuff around. Stuff everywhere tonight. Books, more books. Just gonna put some of these on the seat here. 9 T-Sorments. Take it down. Oh yeah, I was yeah. I had 10 varsity letters in high school, and I'm not looking now at age 56. Yeah, track, cross country, yep. Yeah, get it, use it by like the end of next month. Yeah, Chuck puts like a 2-month time limit on one now, just because they don't get too many just stacked up. So, hey, well.
Hello.
Tim's coming on, too.
Good seeing you again. And Dragonlance, but that picture is cool. Yeah.
It is because it's got. You were right. I did. It's
Yes.
got KDR. Who's the best character in the books? Which now I can start going back and rereading because we've gotten far enough along in Adam's thing that I can go back and read them, not spoil.
Awesome.
How are you guys?
Good. Yeah, it's raining here. It's like pouring down. We're waiting for the tropical storm to come, so it's been drenched outside, and it's a lovely like 80 or like 80 degrees and 85, 90% humidity, but it's wonderful. We have doors open, windows, and waiting for the storm.
That's like a treat for you, isn't it? Having
This
rain
is
this
tropical.
time of year.
This is like being in the tropics. We have very
Oh
tropical
yeah,
today.
that
The big storm. Yeah.
yeah, I just saw it. I don't.
Yeah.
hate
But
it.
it's further east. We are west, a little bit like 50 miles west of the center of it. But we'll see in a few hours. So if it starts
Pops that thing.
lightning going off and thunder and I disappear, you know why? Yeah.
Well, at least you weren't close enough to like landfall or anything, you know.
No, and we
Just-
have mountains between us and the so
Yeah.
it's not like Florida in that sense. We are shielded both from wind, and so it will be more like local floods that might happen here and there. So
Right.
it will be like intermittent small catastrophes here and there that are very drastic.
Flooding is
yeah.
the only thing you got to worry about.
Yeah, mhm. Yeah.
5 minutes early today.
Why
not?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
How's everyone doing? Thank you. Already got a hype train going. Thank you so very much. Really appreciate it. And look, here comes.
I better get on Twitch. Hold on.
You better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to be able to talk trash. Oh, hello.
Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. Oh, that was a new angle. There's Ever
Smile,
Mysterious.
There you go.
The Ever Mysterious Tim. So, welcome everyone. I'm going to start us off with a little. Thanks, Katana. Thank you for keeping it rolling here. And we're doing at least a $25 gift certificate to Troller Games. And I said I've been. I guess that's a runner's term, sandbagging. I didn't even know that, but yeah, I'm showing my age here. But I'm gonna.
I thought sandbagging is when you were holding back.
Yeah, well, that's what you do in race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I get it.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yes.
This is what happens when I would do two things at once.
Yes.
Never mind.
So look, we got. I want to do this real quick and go while we're waiting for people to come on. And thank you for the hype train. Will, you all right if I give this? I'm going to give this away too. So we'll do two.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
Go ahead.
All right. So we got the
You can
$25 and we got a Will hard copy of Ravenshook
Give a PDF too.
and a PDF. We got 3 giveaways tonight. Isn't that awesome? Thank you very much.
Hello, Tim.
Hi.
The Ever Mysterious is on. Thank you for all the submissions. We're getting up there. I know of 4 events that are not in yet. So we're approaching 50, which is great. And they're all quality, high quality.
I need to go check see if anybody signed up for me.
Well, since no one can sign up yet,
It's too
anyone
early
can
to
sign
so
up.
check
that's a
that.
no.
Yeah, exactly. So you
So-
don't need to yet.
It's the same thing with GaryCon. I keep thinking it's like I should go check, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, no.
Next.
It's like I didn't even get approval yet.
Oh well, you're not.
I
guess
got instant approval.
you
so,
gotta
yeah.
see what I do. We'll tell a little story.
Yep.
I'm an annoyance. I'm a prima donna, right? You
Oh,
know that.
it was perfect. I
No.
needed that kick in the butt. So Jay gave me last night. Jay told me like, "Now, come on, have you done it?" And I was,
Yes.
and it was like, yeah. So Jay got me to do it. So it's good. Thank you.
So
Jay.
when I put no problem. When I put my events in, I immediately email in one email Skip Williams, Dave Conant, and Josh all together. I put these in. Here are my special requests. Oh yeah.
That's
you
good.
then.
Here's the
Yep.
special requests I have that you're gonna do. It's not like it's not. I'm not asking. But
I need to figure out how to shut off the parental controls on this because I can't see what Canadian Ancient Gamer told me. It just says that's and then
Really?
We
Teabag.
think you're old
It
enough
says
to
teabag.
be able to.
it blocked out teabagging.
really? Oh my gosh. So someone keep that hype train going. We're only 12% off, if you don't mind. So look, a ton of events in. I'm just going to go through them real quick. All right, just to note, because I know a lot of you have not signed up yet. If you have a problem because of the credit card issue, will you get with me? I have given 2 people. I've finagled away through PayPal where they PayPal me the $5. And then I automatically put in their account thing. So look, didn't I say Chuck was gonna frickin' text me when the show started? I said that. So
Oh, was that the ding? Yeah.
yeah, of course. I'm putting live last. Yeah. Oh, you're live. Answer when you can. Jesus, the third ding. So thank you. All right, we got over to level 3. Yep. So we got 3 giveaways. Blue Box is 2 games in. Armin, Troller Games, June Solar, thank you. Ludwig Egron, that is, oh my gosh, I just said his name. It's a different name. It's under. Jay Hafner hasn't put anything yet in. I know he was considering. You may want to reach out to him, Will, because you're friends with him.
I play with Jay.
Yes, you want to ask him?
Yeah.
Okay. Troller Games. Amy Crittenden. Phantom NJ, he may put a second game in. Chantel, Curtis Cable, Dave from Guild Superior, 3 games from Canada Good Gaming from Garner. Lando, 2 games in. Josh Pop, 1. He's got another one coming in. They're all games for Greyhawk Reborn. Dave Guerreri, more Greyhawk Reborn. These are all Greyhawk Reborns, which is awesome. There's my Grand Joust, XC Experts. Valmoku, Michael Mossberger. Les has 2 games in. Oblivion Seeker. There's Anna's got her game in last night. So it's open,
Yep.
5 open slots.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday morning. Carlos, Friday night, 5 open slots. Troy Cannibal has 2 games in. Just brand, Phoenixy, Wally Hobbit, Troy Oblivion Seeker, Lee. There's Wills and Indicarus, and the ever mysterious Tim has his game, which is he's the special person. He has 1 sign up. So get it while you can. All right, noon at Saturday. Noon Saturday Eastern time. Noon Eastern. So it's 11 o'clock Central, right? You get the idea. 9 o'clock Western. I will be live streaming then with a special game. I'm going to stop and I'm going to click it on. So, all right. Just want to let you know. Oh, they got a ton of great individuals in. Please sign up if you're having a problem with the credit card issue, because it only takes credit cards, doesn't take PayPal. Let me know, and I have a workaround for it. And in fact, Luke Gygax taught me that workaround. So, yeah, exciting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. I'm really excited about it. So, all right, this is a great topic tonight.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great topic. Let me flip over. So we 2 weeks ago had the topic on the fighter class in combat, and we said we got to do one on spellcasting, right, and combat, because there's a difference between talking about this class, that class, but now those classes, the spells that go into combat, and so we're gonna crank this out. So we'll start. Tim,
Yes.
give me a funny situation. Give me something that you're like is memorable from us playing or someone of your friends playing. I'm gonna tell you the one I remember. Wizard of Id. The end.
The comic strip?
The Wizard of that's Tim's most memorable adventure.
I stole the name for an adventure.
When we were kids. It was like 83,
Yeah.
84.
Yeah, and it was like
Appropriate.
4 levels, 4 dungeon levels. It's the one with the famous zombies whipping somebody's feet off.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard that anecdote before.
Yes. Yes.
It was like, yeah.
The bad guy was my version of Emrakul the Chaotic, who is basically insane. And so he was 30th level.
Ooh.
And I
Hey, wrong button. Good.
I randomly rolled to see what spell he cast of all his memorized spells. And it was purely random because he's crazy.
Right.
And he put up a wall of force at one point, a one-way wall of force, I think, where he could cast through it. And Fenzig had like a 5% chance of dispelling it with a dispel magic.
No, he did a fireball. He did a fireball randomly. That was what it was.
Right, but Fenzig dispelled the wall of force.
Right.
And it was a free roll out front, and
Sure,
it was he
5%.
made it, and everyone ran, and he was like, "Yes!" And then he took the fireball.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he got fireball.
He was being valorous. That's all.
Yeah, he was like, "Yes." Well,
Yeah.
he didn't.
And that
They had all fled, and Emrakul was still throwing it down there anyway.
and that was with Hawk and
So.
Gazumba.
Yes.
Hawk, Gazumba, Fencing, and Leuven. And Poo-Poo, Kaka, and Ichabod.
Thank goodness for Rings of Regeneration.
Yes, those were the days. So funny stories. Will, how about a funny spellcasting?
Oh man, you can put me on. I have a terrible memory.
Don't worry about it.
Let's see. No, all the ones I can remember are freaking from watching your show, like torturing a guy with it. Speaking of Ring of Regeneration,
Oh my god, that's not me. That's freaking the living Greyhawk era.
I associated with you though. Jay.
I am not I hate it. I hate the use of a ring of regeneration for torture. I think it's not what it's meant for.
Yeah,
So
casting fireball in too small of a room. I think that's of course that's always the most fun for a DM, right?
absolutely.
And not warning them.
Tino, next Saturday at noon.
Just go. You sure? Okay, cool.
Noon
Like 330,000 cubic
EDT.
feet.
Yeah.
Next
When you do
Saturday,
the
noon EDT. GreyHawk signups.
when you do the math, it fills up a lot of corridor.
Yeah. Yeah, it
11
does.
o'clock your time.
And if you're a jerk, you can have it funnel. You know, it's like, well, the natural breeze.
That's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about the bounce back and the area effect spell because, like, that is a super important thing in old school gaming. And does it work? Is that still a yeah? The ring of rejection. I'm going the greedy party. Samwise. Yeah, that's about it. Is that something that went on through 5th edition?
It's in 5th edition. Yeah. The thing is the misconception. There's one particular. If you're an evocation wizard,
sculpt.
They have the ability to sculpt. Yes,
So
but you can only sculpt up to so much. So if you're in a big party, someone's going to get left out, which I find that even more hilarious because it's, if I remember correctly, it goes off of whatever your spellcasting modifier is. So like if you're at a +4 and you're a party of 6, it's like, well, 2 people are.
Yeah,
I like you the least, so you get it.
That's if they're in the area effect.
If they're in the area effect, but that's awesome to have to put them into that position to where they have to choose.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool that a spell evolves a little bit as the caster progresses in skill level and stuff. That a spell is not always static, and I like it that you get more variation, so to speak. I
would say probably like 2 things that I really like about that they've done with 5th edition spells. What I like concentration. I think concentration is a great idea.
Yep.
It definitely that alone probably helped balance out wizards with other classes more than anything.
Yeah.
What I don't like is all the saving throws. There's too many saving throws. They put it all in there because they didn't want save or suck. I'm like, well, yeah, but save and suck is kind of cool to an extent. I mean, it's
the basic idea I think behind 5e is that you either have a spell attack roll, so to speak, or you have, or the target gets a save. It's one or the other, so to speak.
But they give like a lot of them where it's like, oh, you get a save every round.
Yeah.
At the end of your turn. I'm not down with that. It's like, well, you failed your one save. Now you're screwed. You're the puppet of the evil overlord, and now you got to do what he says. It's up to your friends then to save you. And I think that's better than, well, you just get another saving throw at the end of the round. I don't really care for that.
Yeah. What I like about 5e though, when it comes to it's that you have a spell attack for a modifier formula, and you get to roll attacks on spells.
I like that a lot too.
Yeah, that you do that makes it more fun to cast spells, and it's also that kind of uncertainty, and also that means that if you cast it on a more hapless victim, it's going to strike. There is no buts about it, so to speak. And I really like that mechanics that you get to hit with spells, so to speak.
And it crits.
Exactly, and it crits too. That's another really good. It becomes more like you become more of a combatant and not just like someone who's doing weird shit on the side, so to speak.
Speaking of crits, that's why I added a roll in there for casting, just to give the chance of a fumble or a crit while you're casting.
Wow.
Yep.
I haven't seen that.
I love that
in a game yet that I played in.
And that's the same thing.
No.
With crits come fumbles. Yeah,
it happened a couple times.
I'm going to ask you a question though, Tim. Is it in combat situations only? Do I roll fumble or crit for cure light wounds out of combat?
Some of it, if we consider it kind of administrative, I might just skip it for ease.
Right, got it.
Because it's not tremendously important, but if
I'm just curious.
If you could take your time. That's the way I always look at it with in combat and out of combat. In combat, you're rushed. Out of combat, even if it's the same spell, you can take your time. You make sure you pronounce everything correctly. You put your notes out, So
like I that's a big feature in, because I don't do Vankian magic.
What does that mean?
You don't forget your spell.
Oh.
you don't forget it. It's like I memorized this. No, you didn't memorize it. You prepared it.
Right.
So I've my nature of magic, which I can talk about if we want to talk about it. But
Yeah, we can, of course. This is an open discussion. But I have
Oh
rules.
yeah, we
I
should.
have rules for thee, not for you. Okay. I'm gonna explain that too. Where my players are on this scale, and then the special guests, I give a little more leeway when it comes to spells because I'm not
Right?
gonna. Yeah. So I like
are
them.
you talking about crits and combat and
No,
all
I let
that?
them spell point. I let them take spell. I let them spell point their spells for
I
spell
don't
Oh,
mind.
casters.
I don't mind that so much, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So if you still have to prepare the spells that you're spell pointing, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I don't, but see, I limit their spell books. I'm not giving them 20, like if their max spells is like 18 or whatever, I'm not giving them 18 spells because then,
Yeah.
6 to 8 on each level,
Mhm.
a good selection of spells, in that way. So, yeah.
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 In my new house rules, that then when you learn magic, first of all, there's like three basic type ways you get magic. You get arcane magic, meaning you use your talents and you figure out how the world works, and that way you can get magic that way. Or you can attune with nature and you get magic that way. Or you simply adore a god, or you have a pact with a demon or some other powerful being that gives you divine magic. So you have arcane, primal, and divine magic, like 4th edition. So those are the stuff. And then the basic things is that you learn single spells, and then you can use them and once a day, or you can get like another slot and then you can use the same spell twice a day. That's the simple way. If you just want to be a one-trick pony, anybody with some reasonable talent can learn like a spell or two and cast them. But if you want to be more like a full-fledged wizard, then you have to learn to memorize spells, and that is the really tricky bit. That takes a lot of effort, so to speak, in order to learn. So if you want to be able to cast a whole repertoire of spells, that means that you have to study a lot and you have to sacrifice a whole bunch of other stuff in order to do so. But you can learn especially rituals are easy to learn because you can't cast it under duress. It takes minutes to do it. That's something like if you're a smith or whatever and you want to do magic weapons, or you just want to learn to turn some herbs into a potion or something like that. You only do it like 10 minutes to cast every spell, so to speak, and you learn individual spells. That's ritual casting. Then you can learn. You don't even have to know the background knowledge, meaning if you want to be an arcane caster, you have to know knowledge arcana, but you can learn a ritual without knowing that and stuff. So I try to make magic accessible without screwing up the balance, so to speak. It's tricky, but I'm trying. Yeah.
See, now I got a question for you, but I'm going to refrain from it. We need another show because I want to get a system down for mostly for clerics, but also if you're dealing with a demon or whatever, somebody's giving you stuff. So how do you keep track if you're a good boy or not? Is your God really happy with you?
First of all, I have two types of divine magic. One that I call domain magic. That's a god through religion. You get, so to speak, but you can also have pact magic. Then when you ask a being personally, so to speak, like a demon lord or someone like a powerful being, and you get them, then you have a personal relationship, and then that could be the most powerful. But it's also, they could be like if you have a demon saying you have to go out and kill a good being, otherwise you can't renew your spells. You don't get power until you kill, meaning you kill a good creature, you get this much power, and then you can burn those spells or do fancy stuff, and then you have to go out and kill a new one. So stuff like that. So you can set that's on an individual level depending on what creature it is. So pact magic can be the most powerful, but also the most restrictive. Domain magic is like you join a church, you get, or like a temple and a religion, and you become a cleric. It's more like the traditional way of doing it, so to speak. That and that also comes with restrictions, meaning you have to sign an oath and so on and so forth. And if you don't do what your patriarch tells you to do, then that patriarch will tell the god and spill the beans that you're not reliable or trustworthy in. So you get tangled up in stuff. But divine magic is an easy way to get it, but it's restrictive. Arcane is the tough way to get it, and primal is the easiest way, but it's also the least powerful type of magic.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Question for Tim. Let's go back to our early days playing in the 80s. What was the worst thing about spells back then?
Yeah.
What was the worst thing about the spells, the classes? This is my opinion. I'm asking you for what you think my answer is, and you can give me yours.
The worst things
The worst
about
thing. The worst thing. We're talking pre-Unearthed Arcana. We're talking Player's Handbook First Edition. It's not a bad thing, but what do you think my answer is?
spell books.
Well, spell books don't kind of make sense, but we still use them to this day in traveling spell books, right? But I think the answer is just the variety sucked, right? It was you had 20 first level spells. Everyone took magic missile. Everyone took sleep. It was so devastating.
There was a variety, but how much of it was useful typically?
Right.
Not often. Although, depending
In
on
the right situation,
in the
though,
right
right?
situation, they would.
Yeah.
Like I got ripped off with a Nistel's Magic Aura. Somebody cast on.
Right. But here's the thing. Back then, you had to memorize your specific spells. We never did spell points or anything like that.
Correct.
So you're going in, and here's your entire. Oh, sorry, it's 30. You go in. Here's your entire list, and you know what? Featherfall could have been useful when you fall off that cliff, but I just didn't have it memorized, right?
Right.
So and then the illusionist spells are very limiting here. Very. And you can only be a gnome or a human illusionist, which, sorry, there's no dwarf illusionist and halfling illusionist running around my game still there, Tino. So, yeah.
But illusions came of age in 3rd edition because that's
Sounds
when they
like it.
clarified that they got different types, meaning what could an illusion do,
Right. Which is good.
Uh-oh.
cool and stuff. So I really.
You froze for a second.
We thought we lost you because of the weather.
Okay.
It's like the
sorry,
storm got her.
Yeah,
storm got Anna.
Yeah. So I mean, in 3rd edition, that they came of age because it kind of explained how it affects the target. Meaning, was it a mental? Was it a physical thing in the air?
But I don't want to explain it. It should be a mystery.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you don't need to explain it to the player. You, as a DM, you should kind of the caster should understand how it works, so to speak. And I kind of liked it because that makes it a lot easier to adjudicate illusions. The biggest problem with the illusions is not the illusions that the player character cast, because then as a DM you can kind of try and figure it out what the monsters or the NPCs will do, but the illusions that are cast to or on or against the player
Like phantasmal forces.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the nasty bits, so to speak, that are tricky.
That's another Tim story.
Yeah.
Well, I had
Yeah.
The bad guy had a phantasmal force, and it was 3 dragons breathing on him. And I figured people would be like, "I'm disbelieving that. Why do you see 3 different colored dragons breathing or whatever?" And so, but nobody disbelieved it.
Mhm.
And
So everyone
everybody
died
but 2
because
people
Zumba,
died.
Yeah.
Because Zumba and Fencing had a ring of regeneration on. So that was fun. Yeah.
I usually just adjudicate
I
an
think
illusion.
that I think that's more of a reflection of who they thought was DMing. It's like, well, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah,
Tim's
even
kind of mean. Okay.
My friends at college were way more. They would be like, I try to disbelieve it. A lot of times it was real, but they would catch the illusions because they'd make They were more skeptical when things happened, but
I think you also have to, as a character, you have to sacrifice an action in order to disbelieve. I think that's really important.
That's huge.
I left my books
Yeah,
downstairs.
that's really important. In order to disbelieve, you have to spend an action doing it, because that what means that you need to sacrifice some ability in combat, so to speak.
The shtick I had in college would be like, they would say, I try to disbelieve it. And then I would say, do you close your eyes? And then they would say,
exactly.
Yes.
That's the thing to do.
Say yes.
Yep.
And I go, you don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
and
so
then
good.
you get stabbed or the dragon
like
breathe fire on you. You feel the heat. So yeah, I think the important thing is that I try to illusions that are thrown against the party. I try to do that before combat even starts. I try to just describe it like it's part of the thing, and they go on until they say I actively disbelieve, and so to speak. That's when saving. I just go on, and sometimes I've been lucky. Twice I've been able to run illusions more than one session. One was like 2 sessions in this campaign or something like that until they figured out they were in an illusion.
That's one of those double-edged swords because I totally agree with that and love it. But on the other hand, the argument of, well, my character's way smarter than me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I can see that. That's where the one thing
illusionist is way smarter than me.
Right. I hate passive perception.
No,
but
I
it
like
makes
that.
but it makes sense at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm all like, all right, nobody looked for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, my passive perception would have caught it. I'm like,
you know what? That I don't get.
I would allow it for certain things. Like if they were observing hallucinatory terrain for a little bit, and then they saw something fall on, maybe they noticed something fall and disappear as it passes it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that. But if something's coming in through a door, there's no way they're gonna think, oh, that's just
I think
actively attempt to do it. You know,
I think the DM caveat of their decision overriding, it's just like with anything, you should be able to override any rule if necessary. So
and also bad illusions can be fun too. If you have like a goblin shaman that has learned his first illusion is dabbling around and screwing things up, that could be one of these comical reliefs that could be fun. Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Tim, I just thought what I want. I want an apprentice. Okay, that was totally unrelated.
All right, I'll role play one.
All right,
good. I got it for your reverse dungeon.
Yeah,
okay. That's cool.
Yep.
Got him. All right.
First dungeon at Virtual Cons. First thing Saturday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning.
It's getting off the chains. I actually, this is not totally related. This is related to that. I may have to schedule either a pre-session to figure the last 3 days immediately following the last adventure, so we can start, a year or months later. Or we'll have to play the 5 days and then do a time gap forward on Saturday.
Well, find out who your 6th player is in the signups and go from there. So wait till we.
All right. Well, I know somebody already mentioned it, so they better get in there fast. Hint, hint.
Yes, you better be in and out, man. In and out with that.
You know who you are.
So, combat and spells, right? I know I had this discussion with Ed Greenwood, and Ed is funny in this discussion, and he goes, and it always goes back to one spell, Agonizer Scorcher. Okay, which I got and I used on them. I used on them the other day, when Ed was playing, and the simple thing about that is, that beam goes, and then they can move, and then anything gets hit in that beam has to make a save, the target, and it lasts 2 full rounds. And I said to Ed, Ed, this is not a 2nd level spell. This is the damage. If you add up all the damage it does way more than Fireball, right? It does way more than an Ice Storm does with no save in an air effect spell. I said, and he's like, I agree, but I was trying to compensate because Wizards didn't get much back in those days, right? So he has it in 2nd. I was like, Ed, it's 4th level, and he goes, yeah, I agree with you. It's about 4th level. So we have this discussion every time I use it, and I think to myself, well, why was that? Right?
The 2nd level had really no serious.
Well, that's true. You're dead on. You're dead on in that. But then
Wizards were the most unbalanced class in old school gaming. It was terrible. It was like useless up until 5th level, and then became the overpowerful.
Third, you got Fireball, right?
Right.
But then you're 5th level character.
5th level.
But
I see what you're saying.
We've mitigated that over the years. With the feat system, we have first. All right, a straight mage or straight illusionist gets extra spell slot at 3rd level.
Do you use cantrips? Do you use?
I don't use cantrips because I hate.
I do.
I hate.
Me too. I think that's.
Tim loves them.
I loved cantrips back from the dungeon.
Yeah, exactly.
and whatnot.
I
Yeah.
think, Jay, you would allow cantrip style effects for role playing scenarios
Yes.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
do, but
basically
not-
a freebie because it's
Yeah.
role playing. It's
Yes.
supposed to add.
Thank you,
It's
Tim.
not for
Yes.
I'm going to like,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to go
What-
do a
what-
trick or something, or light something up a torch or whatever, right in the corner,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
It's
I'm-
great for creating that spider for your spider climb spell. You just go weak and make the little
Yeah,
spider.
absolutely.
But I want to have them that bit of punch like acid and some evocation they can do damage. And I'm also going to my house rules they can add their proficiency bonus to the damage of the spells. So,
See, I like that. I would.
Yeah. So
I'm a
they
big-
scale up as they level up.
See,
So-
that's 5th edition now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's it. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing that this. I don't mind that because I don't mind the casters having something to do
Okay.
all the time.
exactly. Always.
Because
Yeah.
in the older editions, as soon as you ran out of your spells, you were
Mhm.
carrying gear and you
Yeah. Guarding the
became-
horses or something.
Yeah,
I
Through
can do
knives.
whatever.
I always threw knives.
yeah.
Darts.
I mean,
You
you
do
could do
darts,
something,
too.
but you were
Dart
definitely
thrower.
not in your wheelhouse. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, and if it's light end magic, that's
Mhm.
not like I don't mind that. Like for me, I think like a really good like a cantrip would be you can do 1 point of damage plus whatever your spellcasting modifier would be. So like if your intelligence is +2, you could do 3 points of damage or something like that. It's still something that you could do, but it's no fireball. It's
All
none
right.
of that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And it's just to keep because somebody who plays a spellcaster wants to play somebody that does magic. So
I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
But I think there's an easy way to mitigate that. And I think Tim's done it too. So here's an example. Ed's character, Ravalantar, right? Now with extra spell slots and all his spells, first, second, third, fourth. 4 first, 4 second, 5 third, 2 fourth. Plus wands with charges. A wand of magic missiles and a wand of shadow bolts.
Mhm.
yeah, wands
Plus
are
some
good.
scrolls, plus some other thing. All right, so plus some unique items. Here is Little Bird's character, Lairdre. Now she's a cleric mage. Let's just count on the mage spot. 4 first, 3 second with a recast because she has a that's fine. That's fine, Tim. No problem. She has a Pearl of Power and 2 thirds with a wand of Burning Hands and a wand of Mel's Acid Arrow. I mean, that's what I'd rather do it with wands and other ability items.
That's a good way of doing it.
Than
yeah,
cantrips.
I like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm much more restrictive with magic items and stuff.
Okay.
So
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I'm a jerk. I don't give my guys nothing.
Exactly. That's same
Fair
here.
enough.
It's,
So you're gonna
it's
take
tough.
this +1 dagger and you're gonna like
Yeah.
it.
Hey, darling. It's just it's a little bit of it's a game style change. That's why no two
Yeah.
DMs are the same, and there's nothing
Mhm.
at all wrong with that at all. So
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
Will,
I would-
you're saying I'm way too nice then for my
No, I never said that.
that's awesome.
I said that I'm just meaner than you. That's what I really said.
Uh,
I
But-
would love to do a system where the spells and the amount of like I think it's great to be able to like take a spell that's a higher level and bust it down and create lower level spells. I like that.
And
Downcasting and
Yep.
upcasting, I love
Mhm.
that.
There
I
is
think
a
that's
spell.
great.
There is
Yep.
a spell in old
Hmm.
school. What's it called, Tim? 4th level.
first level magic user spells.
Well, that's for illusionists.
Well, yeah, but
no,
it
that's
will be-
illusionists can take
Yeah.
first level magic.
Mhm.
No, but there's
Yeah.
Rary's mnemonic enhancer.
Yeah.
It's at
Well, that's
4th level and it
that's
gives
for
you.
memorizing more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It
I
gives
want
you-
to
Yeah.
write into several spells and make them up and down castable, so to speak. So you can turn them into because that will give them more repertoire of low level spells and more kind of cool cantrips and stuff. So
And reversible. I
Yeah.
think that they should bring reversible spells back. I
Mhm.
think that's awesome.
And-
I love them.
yeah. And that is also something you can do that as a spellcaster, you can add like feats and special abilities and mastery and whatnot to different stuff. That you can add things like that. You can
Mhm.
learn to do all sorts of cool
Agreed,
stuff with
Sam.
your magic. Yeah.
I
So-
think I like that idea of the powering up. I think I might add that as a proficiency.
I don't like that. And I'm going to tell you why. I would. God, how do I say this? There are a fireball. For me, well, all right. So then a fireball up higher, fireball up down lower. Fireball, fireball, fireball. I'm tired of seeing fireballs, right?
Hmm.
That's why I have force balls. Cone of cold. That's why I have a cone of fire, cone of metal shards, cone of acid. I want, or whatever. I want variety in the spells, and I think, I got off track here. I think second edition was the golden age for at the end of first, beginning of second was the golden age of spell creation for that purpose, and that's why I live there.
I would keep it where I can take a first or second level spell and I can power it
These
up.
books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's
so
that?
I would make it where I could take a second level spell and power it up. So I take Melf's Acid Arrow, but I'm going to memorize it like it's in my fourth level spell slot. So I'm going to magnify ranges and damage on it, because of my special
But the
studies
spell
on it.
scales up anyway. It does more damage based on the level you're at anyway.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out as an example.
Oh,
right?
okay. All right.
I mean, all right, the magic missile, all right, but I mean,
Once again, I'm not bashing anyone. I like love this discussion. Everyone's got different styles, and then that'll let the audience decide. Hey, man, I want to do it this way, which is
I
great.
like to allow creative
great.
solutions.
Yes.
Yeah, even on casters with So Pearls of Power are one of my Sam. They're one of my favorite items in the game. I give them out a lot, and spellcasters have them, and they cast a spell, and it automatically allows them to recast it that day at all levels. And they don't have to choose which one it is. So if they have a Pearl of Power first, and they have 6 spells they're going to cast off that day, they can recast one of them. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it's a great item. I agree 100%. I love creativity too. Yeah, definitely. So, but I want something. I try every game to throw in something that no one's seen before. And there's so many. I never even got through all these books. I only got through book 2 on these. I literally have not gotten through book 3 and 4 on these.
Mm-hmm.
I have not gotten there yet. Adding spells, because there's spells in here that are hidden off that I don't know, and there's spells. What's that, Anna?
I was going to say, you're ahead of me. I only have 384 spells in my house rules so far.
Okay, that's a good number. I think we have.
It's a decent
2,000.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
I need to add way more. So.
2,000.
I was playing around with the idea of having when the caster goes up in level, that maybe not every level, but definitely every other level, they have to make their own spell. That's what I've been thinking.
Yeah, research is a
but it depends on the players, because I it's like I have a couple of players in mind. I'm like, yeah, it worked really good with those guys, and then I have other players in mind. I'm like, it wouldn't work at all with those guys.
Yeah, there's two. Yeah, that's a really good point. I think there's 2 venues that is not used well enough in order to limit spellcasters. One is how they acquire spells. Mm-hmm. Meaning, how can they learn spells and acquire new spells? And the other one is components.
Those two I'm 100% behind components.
Yeah,
if everybody complains about magic and spells and all this different stuff, and then I always ask, well, do you use spell components? And like, no, and I go,
there you go. Yeah,
there you go. That's it's the number one thing, and it doesn't even have to be a thing of where the spell component is expensive. It could just be, well, where the hell? Okay, so you've got spider webbing. Right.
Yeah, but you're in the polar Arctic somewhere, and where the heck do you find it?
Yeah, it's like okay, exactly. Yeah. It's like, well, where are you going to get that?
Yep.
And who in the village is collecting spider webbing?
Yes,
bat
guano or sulfur or something that.
Bat guano will probably be easier to find than.
If there's gunpowder, right? There's definitely somebody out scrubbing of it.
Yep.
Alex, that's a 2.2. Learning to try and make them Greyhawk relevant, or how they got here. Mm-hmm. But
I think those. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay, Anna. I would say that once, like, and if Almoka just asked me a great question in Whisper about, like, there's no save for Burning Hands at first level. Now I know there's a save for it in 5th. But it does a lot more damage in 5th than it does in 1st. So, there's a lot of little tweaks and nuances. I know we talked about heat metal in chat. It was going on. But it's not as powerful as you think, because there's that Dungeon Master's Guide in 1st edition has that supplemental rules section where it specifically states magic armor gets a save. magic
Right.
armor, magic weapons.
If
get
you've
saving
got
throws.
somebody who uses that too much, well, here, have some rock monsters that don't have armor. It's like that.
You can't use it too much because I mean they're
Yeah.
not. It works on one person and then it's done, and
Yeah.
Right.
you know
And like Burning Hands is a fan real close, so 3 max. That's it. You
that's
can
a
only get
personal defense. That's a personal,
Yeah, that's what I was
personal
gonna say
offense
for
right
it.
there in front of you.
You
Yeah.
were saying earlier about, and I think that's probably another thing that is highly overlooked and nobody does it. And one of the reasons a lot of people don't do it is because speed of play is blowback off your spells. If you do Burning Hands, it combustibles. Am I right?
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, so you did that. You should, if they do that and they're in a room, that room should be catching on fire.
Yeah, I
And
know.
they should be in a burning room
Just like
that has
Fireball.
smoke. Yeah, it's like those are the sort of things that you should take into
Right.
consideration about when spells are going off and what have you. Now that puts more workload onto the dungeon master, which I'm all about whatever makes the DM's life easier, not harder. But
on my C Magus spell list, there's quite a few spells that fireproof things and deal with that problem because that's a killer at sea.
Yeah, and that's a great idea too. Is to create those that not completely make things immune, because then you get into the abuse issue area, right? But make it very unsusceptible or whatever.
Yeah,
double fire
resistant.
resistant.
Fireproofing are two great things.
right.
So back in first edition, Arcana comes out. All right, it enhances the spell lists and all. And then I felt when this
Not second level very much.
No, you're right. Well, Melcesset Arrow.
Yeah, like not very much.
Not very much. But then we had 2 things happen. We had at the same time, the internet came, which is probably a bad thing when you think about it.
If you look at today's society.
Yeah. Mostly it is.
Yeah, the internet came, and let me once again hold on one sec here. All right, here it comes. The
Definitely learned the rule. Not everybody needs a platform, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but we got this. Now we met Alpha himself, Anna. Remember, we found out who Alpha was, which was awesome. That show.
Yeah.
The Greynet Spellbook, which is first edition, and also the combination of the Player's Handbook, second edition, and then this book here, the Tome of Magic. And this is where I fell in love with what they did in second edition. I love the specialty priests, and I love the options that just didn't exist. Internet bad, as you are streaming online to say. Mike, you get what I'm talking about. I'm talking about. I took from this book, and I created the Dominatrix class. Okay, from the spells.
Yeah, there were spells that some pervs put in there to totally trash their games. So
thanks, Patrick.
It was all over the place.
I deleted those out of my copy.
Yeah, but this was awesome, and really the spells here I'm going to randomly just go to a page, and I bet you we can find something here that third level, like here. You don't want to. Kiri. I'm just looking to see. Here, this is in my game. I just randomly went to one of these pages. Callum's Cold Frost. It's in my game. It's under Water Elementalist now. So just right there, I just went to one in the book that I had taken that was not. And look, it's by the actor Paul Walker. I'm sorry, it's probably another Paul Walker, Paul D. Walker. So,
isn't that the guy from the Fast and the Furious movies?
That's why I said that. Yeah. Oh, and also
you don't like those, do you, Jay?
Come on, Paul Walker was in a lot of good stuff before that. He was in Friday. He was in the one with oh my God, Friday Night Lights, or no, not that one. He was in the one with the dude from.
They're so good that you're having.
Oh my God! With the Dawson's Creek guy playing football. Which movie was that?
I don't know.
I believe it was I Don't Care.
Yeah. So.
I don't even know who the
Varsity Blues. Oh, thank you. He's in Varsity Blues.
Oh, okay.
He's a quarterback gets injured.
Never heard of it. But I'm sure I'll take your word for it.
Take good stuff in here. Like here's probably a Kiss of Intoxication. That was definitely a domination spell. I used all the kiss spells for them. Yeah, but just to give you an idea, and this was awesome. and combine that with the Tome of Magic, and then we're off and running. We're off and running with Elementalists and Wild Mages and all the other stuff, and then eventually a few years ago Shadow Mages, and just different.
I'm running an Elementalist from the Great Elemental Elemental book. I guess there's 2 volumes of it, 2 tomes.
Yeah.
The Great Net Elemental book, I guess, whatever. But my son actually has one for to make up when he made a new character after I TPK'd his first group.
Such a good
You
dad.
did that. That's just
they lived.
You gotta teach them life is cruel.
One of them died. The rest were knocked in negatives, and they woke up tied up, and they effected an escape. So,
yeah, that's good times.
So this allowed me to expand out beyond and to make these specialized classes that they couldn't dual class in because that's all they have to be in. Wild Mages, Elementalists, and then just have fun with it and add a ton of spells to the base Magic user list. And that was where we wanted to go from, and then we went off different directions from that. And Alan created the Greyhawk Mage, which he's playing one in the game on Thursday night, and Ed Greenwood's playing one, and it's working real well. So I love the direction that they went, and then that's why I never went to third, because we have enough variety here. If that makes sense, I'm just trying to give you a little background.
Well, third was a different beast. I could understand not going to third if you enjoy the more streamlined. I don't want to call it simplistic, but the less crunchy. It's game, because third is crunchy is all get out.
Mm-hmm.
Third's crunch, and which is okay.
If you like crunch, it's great.
You like crunch, absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
I love the that there are more things to Magic and stuff. The same thing with creature types and stuff. There's more definitions and stuff. But what I realized afterwards was the bad thing is that you shouldn't complicate the actual casting of it. There shouldn't be. So I like that in 5e you simplified the casting of it again. So what I tried to do in my house rules is that I try to keep the diversity, but still the simplicity of action should be of actually using it should be as simple as standard 5e, but more bells and whistles, so to speak.
Well, I think I was just as we were talking about this, I was thinking about the question of balance and access to Magic, and if you're running a game and you're concerned with it, just make it where Magic is highly coveted and very controlled. Human nature, the nature of people. If they have this power, they're not just going to willy-nilly let anybody do it. They're going to form organizations, and you got to be part of the organization, or you're not getting taught it. And so you can separate out your spells into these schools, like a real university that has their versions, and they're not teaching you unless you come with a coin or you're one of their operatives. And then so you can add, you restrict access, to what your players. I want a fireball. Not yet.
Or you can simply say in this realm, necromancy is forbidden. That magic is taboo. It's not allowed, and anyone who touches it, uses it, whatever, will be chased out of, persecuted or killed or chased out of the country, so to speak. And you can do all sorts of stuff. Or it can be so high there's only like a secret library somewhere where there are few that deal it, and when you're 10th level, you can go in and learn the secrets of this nasty stuff.
After you do the librarian a favor, by going and getting
that's right, fetch quests.
Yep.
Well,
and that. Oh, sorry, go on. Yeah.
No, I was going to say necromancers are not allowed in the Greyhawk school, in the Greyhawk College of Magic, the Magic Society in Greyhawk City.
I will say these things here, because every time, like when we talk about these sort of things, which these are all great. Make sure that you have this stuff in at the beginning of your game, and have it and talk about it with the players and stuff. Because that's the one thing that I found, with when I was going and I was recruiting and I was getting people for streams and I was doing auditions, and everybody's coming in and has a 5e expectation, and they want rules as written.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do something like that, or at least the start of a new chapter or something along these lines, just to make it easier on you, so you can avoid all that. Well, that's in the book over here. And blah, blah, blah.
So, and I'm sorry we interrupted you on that previous thought you had.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, but I wanted to add. I've added more things, so to speak, to it. So I've added, first I had the magic conduits, meaning arcane, divine, and primal. But that's just like a way of saying how standard D&D works. So that doesn't change much more than I separate primal from divine, so to speak. That's like the ranger and druid magic, so to speak.
I like that.
Conjure little furry animals and locate animals, talk to plants and stuff like that. And then I have the schools of magic as usual. I follow the 5e concept, but I liked something they're doing with the schools in the new edition or upcoming edition 5.5, where they actually make healing spells or abjuration spells. I like that. So I put the healing spells under abjuration. So they're protective spells. So
we'll
they are
see
now,
if that sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're walking a bunch of that stuff back now.
Oh, exactly. Now it's backtracking
Because
again.
then a mage could cast healing spells.
No, that's the thing. Healing spells are divine; they are not arcane, because all the life forces. Yeah, the arcane magic can't conjure and create life force, so to speak. So therefore, you can't heal with arcane magic. That's divine magic only, and primal magic can heal.
I have a spell for magic users can heal.
Well, so we have a spell necromancy.
That soul siphon.
Yeah.
What spell?
Well, there's the healing power of salt.
Oh yes, that's a para-elementalist only, though.
Yep.
Right, and I also have a intermediate wounds, where basically you're accelerating the natural healing the body has to heal hit points, and of course you won't
touch.
You're not going to heal. You're not going to heal overnight once that's done to you. You have to eat and you have to rest and to regain your natural healing, because it's accelerating.
Psychic healing, right? Isn't that the way that works too?
Yes. With psionics. What's the psionic thing called? Healing yourself.
But everyone takes that. Everyone randomly got that. 4 characters.
Yeah, it's the body composition or whatever.
Got that.
Molecular composition or whatever.
Come on.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. All his friends. All randomly rolled. We talked about that. They all randomly rolled psionics, and they all happen to have cell adjustment. 4 characters, brand new.
That's why you roll up characters at the table in front of everybody.
That's why DM's crushing fist came down. All right.
But I add one more thing to bells and whistles, to level 2 spells, and that's for me in order to affect how the spells work, so to speak, and that is the magic strain. What kind of energy is the spell using, so to speak? So is it temporal? It's just using energy that is around. Is it elemental? Do you generate fire, acid, or something like that? Is it shadow magic? Are you reaching out to the plane of shadow and bringing in stuff like that? Fey magic, astral magic, celestial, radiant, concordant, fiendish, necrotic, ethereal. Those are the types of energy, or where you get the power for the spell, so to speak. And the reason I have that is that as a spellcaster, you don't need to know that. But if you go to a place where that energy is not available, so to speak. If you go to the astral planes, you might not be able to cast elemental spells or phase spells or something. If you go into a really good temple, necrotic stuff might not be available or fiendish, because that might be blocked in that holy area from a god. Might simply say, my temple, only these strains can work, so to speak.
There's a module that does that. I can't remember which one it is, where it's basically you go into the temple and it's like, didn't the vampire von Richthofen, Ravenloft,
exactly.
Wasn't that part of Ravenloft too? It's like certain spells
they've done
work.
It on an arbitrary level, way here and there, so to speak. But I wanted to have it in the rules, so to speak. So I know that this spell uses this energy in order to do it. Then I have taint, and taint is simply a good or evil taint, and some of it could be law or chaos tainted. But law, I simply said that's not a
chaos.
Chaos tainted. Law is simply as the way it is, and so I only have chaos taint, like good taint or evil taint or chaos taint, so to speak. And that is the way. If you cast evil spells, then you will be detectable as evil, so to speak, if you cast those spells.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like
It sticks to you.
like a smell that a paladin can smell that spellcaster is nasty because it casts those spells.
True,
It's like a
Mike, 'cause they run
lingering
different
aura
planes.
that comes after. So it doesn't really affect the spellcasting, can just cast spells as usual. But me as a DM, it ties into the world, so to speak. That's where I wanted those things.
Here's that spell Tim was talking about, just so you know. And healing touch of salt. Elemental salt, so it's a para elementalist in my game, which is the elementals that get all the crap crossover ones, right? And just so you know, first level, so and only they get it. And this is how, if you want a spell, they're like, I don't want any more healing spells. Well, if you limit it to one specialty class, this happens with specialty priests in my game, and on necromancers, shadow mages, or whatever. It's only here. How many para elementalists are in the game, Tim? 3. And 2 of them are NPCs, I think. And one of them is yours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. After casting a spell, the caster touches the subject and seals all of his bleeding wounds, even if they're caused by sword of wounding. Due to the salt stain, -1 all to hit roll strengths 1 to 4 hours. All it does is close the wound closure. That's all it is. So there you go. Healing touch of salt.
And helps preserve you.
Yes, it helps preserve you. But
Kills germs.
Yeah, and there's favorite spells that involve underwater. Well, that's detailed in 1E DMG underwater spell actions too.
I could see the humanoids appreciating that. They'd be like, this guy tastes better.
It tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
But that, and once again, that's a great net elemental spell, I believe, right, Tim?
I thought I made it up.
I don't think so.
Maybe I thought it was a good idea. If I didn't,
no, I don't think
right?
I don't think you.
I might.
That's
I thought I might have stolen it from Warhammer, but maybe it was that spell book.
I think it's great in that spell book. You made up a lot of great spells, but I don't.
I
think
did
you
make up
made
a couple of them, yeah. But
I don't think you made that one up. A lot of yours were crystal. So
right.
I do have that list. I can check. Pickled wounds. So combat wise, I'm going to ask each of you this question. We're going to assume 9th level in whatever system you play. Just give me a general where a spellcaster with no other, not a multi-class fighter mage or cleric mage, where a wizard falls in your realm of power in combat at 9th level. Are they the top of the food chain, or are they a step down, or are they still at the, where are they, Anna? What do you think?
If they can cast 9th level spells, they're
9th level of 9th level.
Oh, 9th level. Okay.
Yeah,
I would have them
spells.
I would have them as they are probably the master of ranged damage in some sense. They're the area, they're a necessary or like a vital component of any war party, because they can cast area effect spells and they can also protect, so to speak. Those I think are the really key bits. The damage dealing and stuff, I think warriors and others can probably substitute quite a bit of it, but especially when it comes to area effect things and various things like swarms of things and stuff like that. So different stuff. So they are I would say an almost necessary complement to if you want to go to war with IUs, for instance, you want someone who can cast spells and stuff like that, because it's like today's warfare. You need aerial coverage, you need all sorts of other specialties. In a fantasy environment, that the arcane caster and the divine caster, they can provide these special services that are vitally needed, so to speak. And also they will be a bit more beefy than in regular D&D. They will probably know use of weapons or two. And we have another spec we need to talk about, armor on casters. That's another one we need to talk about later. So that's one. Yeah.
Tim and I have been doing that for day one. We can discuss that definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah. But so powerful, but special, so to speak.
Okay. So not top of the food chain.
No, I don't think so. Not only in certain areas.
Okay.
Yeah. Or
Will,
certain
how about
specialties.
Well, that depends on your party. So while you might have a list of a bunch of really awesome spells, if Bob the fighter gets, Bob, what are you doing? I can't cast that.
Yep.
You're in the way. So
True.
I think you got to pick your spells. I think would
Yeah.
I'm going to go sideways on this. Pick your spells that is going to be best for the party in which you play. So, I mean, theoretically, a ninth level wizard has quite a bit of punch to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Spells, nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. So theoretically, they should, and I agree with Anna. There's definitely a distance devastator,
Mhm.
but it really depends. Especially too, also if you're dropping them into a dungeon, and you're dungeon crawling, I think that really limits that there too. I think then your utility spells are going to be a lot more.
Yeah.
How can you do different things to benefit everybody involved? I think a ninth level wizard is far more versatile than earlier levels, of course, just because of their number of spells that they have options to.
We'll ask that question. We'll go back to that question in a second, Curtis.
Can I answer
Tim.
the question?
Yes, Tim.
Ninth level wizard is extremely dangerous to any other class of ninth level. Extremely.
They're the top.
I would say they're close to the top. At times, they can't maintain it because once he casts a spell, you kind of lose that. A fighter is going to be a fighter no matter what. But if a ninth level wizard is being played to his intelligence and is part of a team and has orchestrated things properly, he's going to be top of the food chain. He's going to call a lot of the shots to get people to do stuff, and he's got fifth level spell, right?
One.
Yeah, so he's got fire shield. He's got wall of fire potential. He's got a lot of
fire shield.
Yeah, probably the most important individual in the party, in a little bit above
without a doubt.
The second greatest threat, though, to him would be the cleric.
I was just going to say, cleric,
ninth level cleric.
Yeah, ninth level cleric would be a close second.
Because I mean, threat to the magic user. I think cleric versus fighter. The fighter's still going to,
that depends on like if you're going to go class versus class, it's like, okay,
that's what he said. Top of the food chain.
Yeah, if we drop them in an arena, well, how big's the arena? If we're talking a 10 by 10 cube, that fighter might mop the floor with that wizard. And it's like, oh, you gonna try casting?
Magic missile, especially there.
One of my favorite, and I remember that to this day. And speaking of, it's this lady right here, Kitiara, in the Dragonlance novels. She's I forget the wizard that she was talking about. This wizard, if I remember the scene correctly, shows up and tries bullying her around, and she's getting ready to beat him, and she's just walking around the room, and all she's doing is just picking up stuff and chucking it at him the entire time, so that he's constantly doing one of these maneuvers and whatnot. So she's just doing that so she can dialogue to tell him about how bad she's going to mess him up, because he couldn't cast because the entire time he's like getting beat and it's breaking his concentration and all that. It's an awesome scene. And I think that's
the first level spell shield, and then went ahead and is no.
So we all know. I'll tell the story about you.
That'd be the first one.
You also saw what that Greenwood did last week. So as far as he is an 8th level Greyhawk mage in my game, so he's almost there.
Wow, he's 8th level already?
Oh yeah, he started at 6th, so 2 levels. It's been playing for 2 years.
I'm going to pause, Jay. I'll be back in a short bit.
Tim, you're going to argue with me on this, but that's okay.
I'll argue for you,
real quick.
Tim. Yeah,
they're number 2 in my game in the food chain. What's number 1, Tim?
Jester.
Oh, no. Cavaliers.
No. Paladins. What takes out mages more than anything?
Oh, archers.
The Lenlikafka archer is top of the food chain, but they also are the top target in the game. Go ahead, Tim. Thanks. See Tim in a little bit. Yes. The archer with 3 hours per round. They're the only character that gets 3 hours per round at 7th level. And then at 9th, they finally get 3 attacks every 2 rounds. They're terrible melee fighters. But if a fighter or something does not take them on, they are the mage killers. Because their range can actually outrange the mages. 600 feet. 600 feet on my table is 60 inches. So it fits. We have
600 feet outdoors.
Yes.
You put them indoors, that's going to shrink down considerably.
Not indoors. Indoors about 120.
Same length indoor outdoors.
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
it's the same length. No, it's
But
7
there-
inch.
Yeah,
But-
but there
but-
is a limitation indoors. Is
Yeah.
that a bow is an indirect fire weapon beyond short range.
Yeah,
So
Mike.
if it's beyond short range, you need to have a ceiling height that is
There you go.
half the distance. So if you want to shoot 300 feet, you need a cave with 100 to 150 feet to the
yeah,
ceiling.
that's what I was
Otherwise-
meaning.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
but that's the benefit with crossbows are not indirect. They shoot so hard
Sure.
that
Yep.
they go directly, so to speak. So bows are long bows, and bows are that's one of the major drawbacks. Same thing if you fire in a forest. It's the same thing. You fire at disadvantage because it needs to go through or even worse in
Right.
that sense. So out in the open, it's so that's a lot of the DMs don't do that, but I'm
them
definitely
don't do that.
including stuff like that in the rules. So yeah.
So Mike Slushy brings up a good idea, a good thing, and a change that I did. So old school is not perfect.
And
so-
no other rule systems are perfect.
No,
Yes.
They just
No
solve
s-
different things.
No school's perfect. yeah.
Exactly. They emphasize different aspects of
Yeah.
the game differently. And
Yeah.
if you emphasize something, you miss or de-emphasize something else. over
So
again.
Curtis, the Archer made by Len Lakofka, which is Best of Dragon Volume 3, which is the first class we added to our game because it was available back then. Bounty Hunter was the first one I made, and Archer was the first one we added outside the base classes, and
Yeah.
we've tweaked it. Is still super nasty just because of the 3 arrows and all that. I'll say this, Mike. What we found in the 90s has happened was with mages in the party, it was a haste slow race, and that's all the combat was getting to be. Was one guy he was going to slow the whole party, and also the clerks are going to silence the whole party, or haste slows. And I said enough of this race because it happened every fight. They both went to single target spells, one target. Back in old school, I know that's blasphemous, but that's what I did.
Blasphemy.
That was blasphemy. So, of course, I used the aging rules. No one cared about the aging rules because everyone go, I'll find a potion of longevity, or I'll find elixir of youth somewhere. I don't care. Oh my God, how many? All right, I want you to raise your hands in the part out there in the audience. Anyone? How many of you have had a character die of old age in your game?
I don't think anyone had that.
Zero. Let's
We
be
haven't
honest.
had. We've only had from people dying from ghosts and
Ghosts,
stuff,
that's
but
it, yeah.
not natural old
Naturally
age. No, that's
dying from
never
old
happened.
age.
No, that never happened.
No.
So,
So
Got
the haste
the
thing is irrelevant
mhm.
unless you're completely vain. So yeah, not naturally. Exactly, Leno, not naturally. So
But you should add way more age to it, so it starts being a problem. So you should age significant amount of time or something. Or
see that, Jeff. First thing a magic user does is cast slow in any spellcasters. It's a race, and if it's an area effect spell, why aren't there spellcasters casting slow back? An area effect. That's why it same tactic every time. It was enough. That's why I made it single target because I wanted more I wanted more tactical flexibility. And we're talking combat here, and that was one of the things that drove me crazy. Was that? So I bet you have aged at least 2 characters to death. That is okay though, Mike. We've had that happen. Ghosts. What's the staff that can do that? Withering. Staffs of withering. All that.
Yeah.
Can do that, which is perfectly fine. But no one's getting hasted 50 times and dying of old age because of that. Dying of old age due to constant use of time spells such as haste and other spells that cause aging. Yeah, once again. All right, so you did have one that did that from. That's the first one I've seen that was died due to haste spells. So
maybe you can do aging cumulative. So each time you cast a haste spell, that means that you age 2 years instead of 1 every year. And then the second time you cast it, you age 3 years instead of 1 every year and stuff. So that way you don't mess with time magic because that screws you up significantly over time. So it's something that you can do it if you really have to, but you screw down the line, so to speak. So
I can hear right now. It's not written that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I've changed. We have all changed a lot of things. Here's one. I kind of think 5e was on the right track, but not enough. Like what's it called when you have a spell on you? You have one defensive spell on. That's all you can have at a time.
Oh, concentration.
Concentration. Yeah.
Okay.
So certain spells are concentration spells, and you can only do one
Yeah.
concentration spell at a time. If you do another spell that's a concentration spell, it drops the first spell.
Mhm.
So I think that's a great idea.
They overdid a few spells like bark skin maybe and stuff but I think
Exactly.
it's a great addition to the game as a mechanic, as a limiter, because it doesn't limit. The spells are still as useful. You just have to pick which one you use.
Well, it kept you from like pop. One of the
Mm-hmm.
things that it did was like back in 3rd edition, where it's like before combat starts, hold on, guys, we got to spend 15 minutes casting.
And then you just boosted and you got everything done. And I remember the same thing in Pathfinder.
Everybody was buffed out there.
Yeah, we were buffed up so bad they was like crazy.
Yeah, hey, I can't. 1 year age, haste. It doesn't say system shock, but that's cool if you want to. Constitution is one of the things I dislike the most. Now, I'm not saying I like it. What I'm saying is, my guys, especially one, you probably know who it is because you see it every Thursday. Over buffs, buff, 5 spells, 6 spells. Okay, that's fine, but then you're burning your spells down. I was considering limiting it to 3 or 4 or whatever, and they didn't want. They completely nixed that idea. We don't want to make that change. So I listened to my players, and I didn't make the change. Because old school, you can really go crazy. There's a spell that is a buff spell. It's called Withdrawal for clerics, right? You cast Withdrawal, it's 2nd level spell. You get that many personal spells on yourself, healing or defensive spells that round. Say you're 9th level cleric, you can cast Withdrawal, and you can go 4 Cure Light Wounds, resist cold, resist fire, boom, boom. They got to be all defensive. They can't be offensive. Yeah.
But that was one of the good things they did in 3rd edition that was carried over into Pathfinder, was that you had different types of bonuses, and the bonuses didn't stack, so to speak. So one, it was like in 1st edition, it's like general, you get like +1 to hit and they can just stack, and you can have enormous amount of whatever, so to speak. But then you had there were different types of bonuses, and they didn't stack. So if you got one bonus, a +3 enchantment bonus and a +4 enchantment bonus, you didn't get +7. You got the highest one was the only one that stuck. That was the only limiting factor, but you could still cast like an inordinate crazy amount of buffs. But and one of the things that I don't like about the D&D magic systems is all of these spells that are just there to mechanic things, meaning you get a bonus +1 on X, Y, or Z features, so to speak. A lot of these spells that they have very little, if no, thematic thing. They wouldn't exist in the world. They just a line of mechanics, and you get a plus or you get a minus on someone else and so on. I like spells that are more thematic, that has a more of a feel to it, and it's not pure mechanical, like bless and stuff. I can understand why they're good, but some of them are just mechanics and hardly no story or no flavor. And to me, they get a little bit boring, so to speak. I want a game system, a magic system that has a little bit more mystique, a little bit more less crunchy and more fluffy, so to speak, if possible. I know it's hard to do. It's really, really hard to do, but I like to get some of these mechanic, especially buff spells and stuff, get them weeded out to some degree, so to speak. They should be, you should clean up the mess a little bit here and there, and concentration is one good way of dealing with it. So yeah.
So Dan Weirdo, that was another thing back in the day. We had double haste could stack, and it got so crazy. We had that, and it just
haste doesn't stack for me. Yeah, I can see it stacking, but then the aging effect should be terrible, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, if the effects stack, then the aging should stack. For sure.
Yeah. It did. It did. But all right.
I'm sorry, go on.
No. It's a good question, and I don't allow it anymore. And like I said, that was one of the main things I had done, was taking haste and slow and turned them into single target spells instead of area effect spells. Just works better. No save. So because there's no save on it.
We have the rest mechanic is a good question. Yeah.
It will negate slow, of course, absolutely, but it'll still aid you. If it negated
Yeah, it should.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I did not like it was a race, haste, slow race, and then it was a race to who got the dispel magic off first, right? And sometimes it still happens with all the buffs, but every fight with spellcaster was like that, and I didn't like that direction. All right, so here's what I want to ask you too when Tim comes on.
Yep.
We'll start this off. What have you done spell wise to enhance the way combat goes for you?
Well, I can't really say that I've done anything to enhance.
Or little nuances that you enjoy, like
I definitely have. I play up the. I guess I was alluding to it earlier when I was telling the story about Kithiar and what have you. I definitely play up the concentration part of spellcasting, at least in 5th edition, and it's something that I've definitely, because they had that before. That's not anything new. You've had that from in 1st edition too. You have the same thing. You can interrupt a spell, and it's something that I remind players of, and my monsters are very mindful of it, and I try to make sure that they are taking advantage of that. Something else too is I really like targeting spellcasters and targeting because there's no reason why monsters, if now granted, I could see if like you come rolling into a room or whatever and you first meet, unless the dude's got a big pointy hat and a robe with stars and moons all over it, it's like, how are they going to know necessarily that is a caster? But as soon as that first spell gets popped off, they should target in on those guys and target in hard. And the only problem is like, if that isn't it, you can't necessarily do it all the time because whoever's playing those characters is going to get upset. Because it's like tactically they should be all out for those guys, but it's like if the player
Always.
Then gets but the player is going to feel picked on if you do it like how it should be. If somebody could, like, I mean, think about it in the real world. If some dude could drop a fireball and you knew that he could drop the fireball, and you had a gun and you were going to pull it out, it's like, yeah, man, I'm shooting that guy first. So that's, and I think it's just a matter of just having the monsters. I forget that name of that book. It's like the monsters know what they're doing. I forget the guy's name who wrote it, but it's like I play my monsters more that way, and a lot of people tend to get depending on your group, depending on your players. I've played with groups where the players get really upset about that sort of thing. So I don't know. I don't know if that answered the question or not, Jim.
No, I know. Yeah. So it's understandable. I target spellcasters. If you saw Thursday night, I was trying specifically with that dwarven shortbow guy up top who was possessed by a soul. They were all in the Twisted Forest, and they all got possessed by soul baddies there. And always target the spellcasters or the archer. If there's an archer, especially, that's the top one they go at. I mean, the fighters go immediately try and charge that person.
That as they should. Yeah, and again, that's one of those things too. It's like it's one of the things where I try to new groups, and when I play, I try to put it in the briefing, the session 0, so to speak. It's like, hey, just be mindful of these certain things, or when it comes up, I just gotta let them know. It's like, yeah, man, they're gonna come after you hard. Just so you know.
Yep.
That's the same thing with people, because I don't really get against players playing different types of races. It's like, if you want to play that, okay, we'll work it in. But I let them know up ahead. It's like, yeah, man, just be prepared for it. It's like, because ain't nobody gonna like you, and there's a lot of people who are probably gonna attack you, just so you know. But you can play it, so don't come a whining. So
I say, if you have a troublesome archer and he's low level, make sure you use warp wood and just attack the bow.
There you go.
Yeah, but who takes warp?
Like I did to Mike's character.
Yep. You do. You're the only person I know who takes warp wood.
Because it's a great spell.
It is a
great
great spell,
spell.
but I don't know like
Yeah.
how many. Well, there's more druidic. We should have a druidic discussion at some point to have.
I added a whole bunch to
Oh
did.
God!
Yeah.
Don't get me started about 5th
Underdog
edition
game.
druids.
Yeah, why they're
I
bad.
I hate 5th edition
Okay.
druids. This is why I hate 5th edition druids, and a lot of people disagree with this. They love it. They love the shape changing. I hate it. I hate the fact that they became a shape changing machine, and that's their primary focus. I hate that with a passion. It's like,
It needs to
no,
be
I like a
nerfed.
wilderness. I like wilderness casters. That's what I like.
It
And if you want to talk with them, or if you want to change into an animal here or there, all right, that's fine. But I also think too, like, if you change to an animal and you get killed as that animal, you should be dead. You should be like, oh, now I morphed back into my real. It's like, no, you changed to a deer and some hunter shot you, and it's like, all right, you're getting ate. That's what I think.
Yeah. We need to have a special show when we talk about those.
We should
reindeer druids and the wilderness
Absolutely.
creatures, because I agree it needs to be nerfed a bit, and I have ideas that I'm going to implement that some of my players will be very angry.
That's
at
5th
me for,
edition
but-
Orker, not old
Yeah.
school.
A druid, the changing of into an animal should be more of a mystical, spiritual thing, and not a Marvel superhero.
Yeah.
This is my power.
That's not the way it works in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I rest my case.
Supposedly just in the movies too. Oh man, everybody was complaining about that. Really
And it doesn't fool everybody, because some creatures have like vision and they can see what you really are, so to speak.
Yeah,
and they can see through.
And Rick Solis, that's my
Well,
choice on.
And here's the thing: this is and that part I was talking about. If you change into, you should die. If that what you change into dies, that would really change up that whole spell, changing around into the different things. Because like a lot of animals, like if you change, I'm going to change it to a bear. Okay, great. You got a bag of hit points and you got a real low AC. You know, it's so like they can hit the hell out of you real quick, and those hit points go away really fast. So it's like, I don't know, and I don't know of any bear that you're going to play. Maybe a cave bear that has, can do some damage, but I would prefer to just use my own spells and my own abilities. I'm an adventurer, for crying out loud.
Well, I mean, I think changing to a cat would be good. A tiger or a something like that. Benefit if you need it for combat. But once you do a mammal, that's it for the mammal. You can't turn into another mammal.
No, he's talking 5th edition. Different Tim.
Huh?
Yeah. He's talking 5th edition. 1st edition, yes. But not
I know. I'm comparing it to the good edition.
Good old Tim. Good, Anna.
I was going to say, when it comes to combat, one of the first, when my house rule, there is way more the spellcasters aren't a specific class and then stand out with a dummy thing on their head and say, I'm a wizard, kill me, so to speak, or spellcasters. So spellcasters are much more like the general population. They're much harder to spot, because a lot of them will still have weapons. They might carry a sword. They might look and feel, especially like in military units, among the shaman among the orcs might not want to stand out as a shaman. He would just look like any orc, so to speak, and then maybe have war paint and come out after he show it. So it's more like the spellcasters, that they will stand out when they are powerful in order to intimidate you. When they are just be able to cast a few spells, when they're lower level, they will blend in. So they're harder to spot, I think. And they're more versatile. They're not only a one-trick pony. More of them, not some of them will be a one-trick pony, like in regular D&D or something, but a lot more of them will have more diverse. There will be less spellcasters and more other stuff too, so to speak. Skull gear or fighting ability or carry armor or stuff like that. So that's one of the aspects, I think, in my games. The other one is that this I boosted some of the spells that they have. Cantrips and stuff will carry a bigger punch, so they will be able to dole out damage, but they also be more vulnerable, especially close up, because there's special you can disrupt spell casting by attacking the spellcaster while he's doing it and stuff like that. So it's a give and take, so to speak. But at a distance, they will probably be a little bit punchier when it comes to doing some of the damage and stuff. But so outdoors in the right environment, they are more powerful than general, and they're harder to spot. Generally, they don't stand out. Some of them, if you're a paladin, you can sniff the evil ones, but that doesn't cut it for most arcane casters. Elemental spells aren't evil, so some of the nasty ones you can't get to, but some you can. So it depends on the nature. But on the other hand, if you're in an evil temple, the whole temple is evil, and then you can't smell the damn evil.
It's all around.
Clerics. Exactly, it's everywhere, so to speak. So that means that you're very powerful. If you're in your own temple, then you can sniff out anything evil that comes into the good temple. So there you're much more powerful. So in my games, I think some things are more situational than usual in D&D games.
A home layer advantage is
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
But
got
the
a
same
question.
goes for the evil temple. If you're a paladin, you're going to the evil temple.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can be dark or sneaky or skulky. They can sniff you, so to speak.
It's like,
Or the
hey, there's
witch's
something.
lair.
Yeah.
Mhm. I got a question for you guys now. So this is in combat,
Mhm.
and my personal opinion is I hate these spells. Summoning spells.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of summoning spells, especially ones
And what
that summon up any edition. If you if I'm running a combat and the guys, I'm gonna summon 10 skeletons. I'm like, God. Now I got to account for 10 other things.
First
I like it.
Wait. First off, what spell summons 10 skeletons? There's
None does.
That I don't know. That I
There's
don't.
none.
I know it. But okay, but you have summoned woodland beings in first
Call
edition,
woodland
right?
beings, and they have to be
Call
around.
woodland beings.
They're never around
Right.
when someone does that. So
Okay, that's the
But
good
that's the
way of
difference.
doing it. That's what
Mine
I
are
Summoning,
do.
around,
they
but
don't
they're
have
all
to
just
be around.
rabbits.
It's like you call. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna say, oh, here they come. But
Rabbits,
yes,
squirrels, some foxes, and a couple
chinchbugs,
porcupines.
manganese.
it is definitely not a big deal in, like, say, first edition is. I think, but like even in second edition, they really that's when it
Not
starts,
10,
right?
Jeff. There's no.
Where they start getting out of line with what you can summon.
Well,
And I know in fifth and third edition,
yeah,
it
1
is
to 4, 2 to
nuts.
5.
And that's I like that was when it came to things in fifth edition that I actually just started banning. I banned summoners and stuff like that, and people was like, well, you go ahead, try that. I
just
went
try to-
back to the old school rules. It's like, oh, you're gonna try and summon that? Well, there ain't nothing here. And it's not
So-
happening. You're not getting them, those guys.
I had a problem with summoning early on, and then I figured out a way around it, and I actually now have it built in. Like, we have elementalists, and they all have their conjure elementals or their lessers. Like, they can conjure Grus, lesser Pecs, or even for like earth element. I don't care on those. There are some items in the old school that drive me crazy. Something 12 Horn of Valhalla Berserker.
There you go.
Drives me nuts. Okay.
I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I
So-
love it if I'm summoning them. I don't
it's
like it
too
if I'm
much.
DMing.
It's too much for that Horn of Valhalla. So I kind of limit that a little bit. But
Mhm.
I don't have any problem. If you want to, because those monster summoning spells in old school, like monster summoning one's
If
third
it's
level.
one monster, if
It's
it's
not-
one monster, I don't really care.
Well, it's like 1 to 4 first level or something, right?
Yeah, and I have
The
I,
1 to
the
6
necromancers
first level
have undead
monsters.
summoning.
And it's a third level
Yeah.
spell.
Yeah, I
But-
know. So they're
Yeah.
getting like 4 skeletons with 8 hit points at 5th, 3rd level. One fireball or one anything's taking them out. Not a cone of cold.
Yeah.
They're
I-
the type of
Go-
things, if you need to carry something in some ways, they're
Yes.
great. They pick those things up and let's go.
I was also, I had a period where I didn't like them, and I was like, oh damn, this is getting out of hand completely. But then I realized I use the minion rules for them. So I
That's
just,
a good way of doing
yeah, I
it.
just use, because that way I don't have to keep track of hit points at all. And
Yeah.
also the other one, also think of the nature of them, meaning undeads, they fight to they're destroyed, meaning they have no, unless they're free willed undead. But skeleton zombies, they just do. But on the other hand, they need to be commanded. That means that you have to spend a bonus action in order to tell them what to do.
Mhm.
So to speak. Otherwise, they do nothing useful, or they keep doing whatever you told them to do last. So
Yeah.
that means that tag into they eat away at your action economy, so to speak. They're one of them. And the other one, use the minion rules. And my simple straight is that 3 hit points per CR, so to speak. And so if they are CR2 creatures, that means they have 6 hit points. So anything that is 6, hit them with 6 or less, they're still there. More than 6, they're dead, and you'd never have to keep track of the hit points. That way, you can get 50 of them in there, no biggie. So
Yeah,
to
I
speak.
like that.
Yeah. So use the minion rule. That takes care of it. And also remember, as a DM, you have unlimited amount of enemies. Use that. And make them.
It's like, oh, you
minions
summoned
too.
all those? You summoned,
Yeah.
summoned a pack of wolves?
Yeah.
Oh, and
Meaning
the
you
other
can-
guy,
yeah.
he did a flute, and
Yeah.
he summoned a pack of wolves too.
Yeah.
He
And then I got
summons-
I got all that.
Yeah.
He
But
summons
also,
a
One thing I don't
pride of
give a-
lions.
No
Yeah.
pipes of the sewers either.
yeah, and
No.
also don't be vengeful against the players. If the players want to
well,
burn
that's-
down the
that's-
village and
that's me,
or
yeah.
they want to summon an army of whatever and kill everybody, let them do it. And then the Baron, whoever is the lord above it, might get very pissed and angry at them,
Yeah.
and so on. And yeah, so
I
I
like
want.
s-
Yeah,
Go
sorry,
ahead,
go.
No, go ahead. Finish your
I was
thought.
just going to say, I want my players to become murder hoboys. That make it more fun for me because I can
Oh,
get
yeah.
villains
Eight-
after them. So yeah.
So Raska, 8 hippogriffs at a time. How's that? Like, what am I missing? I don't know.
Not
I don't know
possible.
any. I don't know any spell
Not
that can
possible.
summon 8 hippogriffs at a time.
They're 3 hit die creatures, and
Yeah.
I think
Not
You
in
can only
first
summon
edition.
1 to
That's
3.
the beauty of that.
1 to 3
zombie
or
ghost.
1
Yes, Snorker. Yeah.
5e. See, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
5e. Third edition too. Third edition, you could summon all kinds of stuff.
that's
It's
crazy.
and that's and I think it's, I don't know. I'd have to take a look.
Yeah.
At
let's.
second edition's the transition, but by the time it's third edition, summoning gat is you can
Fine.
summon all kinds of stuff.
Well,
I
I
use
do
the
have-
9th level spell.
Two.
Summon zombie goat horde.
But that's a 9th level spell. I mean, you have to be 18th level to
No,
cast that.
whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I have-
that's.
I have for the sea mage. There's some powerful summoning spells, but it takes you an hour or 2 to cast them. It's not like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want a whale to show up, it's going to take you a while to like.
Where's my?
As it should.
Ocean's a
There-
big place.
There should be some built-in things. It's definitely an issue. I don't know about fourth, but
Mhm.
from third on, summoning sucks.
Yeah. And also remember from 3rd edition, calling, that means that they have to be around and you just calling them to come. If there are
Right.
if there are no rabbits around in abyss, no rabbits will show up. Summoning means that you summon them from some other plane or some other existence, and then they come here. Conjuring, you create them out of thin air, so to speak.
Mhm.
Those are the premises. And old school didn't have that written down, but I think it's also important to know that, because as a
Yeah.
DM you can adjudicate.
Yes.
Calling doesn't work here. Summoning only works if there's a connection to wherever the creature is.
Mhm.
And conjuration, usually very powerful and should only be for really powerful spells that can do that.
Summoning, they disappear again when the spell is over.
Yeah,
They-
I mean.
Yeah,
they don't.
exactly. Yeah.
So I want to give you an example here. Here's the Seven Sisters, one of my favorite spell books. It's not Greyhawk, but it's all I've stolen most of these and used them against Ed all the time, so which is fun. But let's go to
As
third
you
level.
should.
Let's go to third level. Laryl's Raging Griffin, and this is where the genius of Ed is comes in. This is third level. It lasts 9 rounds no matter what, and it's 1 Griffin. I can live with that, right?
Yep. See, that's acceptable. That's
A Raging
Yeah,
Griffin's
right.
armor class 3 gives you all its stats, 7 hit die, and always 44. It's maneuverably attack thrice per round, blah, 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 blah. But that is it. It's 1. It's not 8. You know,
I'm
One
glad it
more
just says the
aspect.
hit points too. Makes
Yeah.
it easy.
One
Mhm.
more important aspect: intelligent creatures only fight with you if they like you or they like the mission. They will not do blindly what you tell them to do. Dumb
Especially
skeletons
them-
and zombies would. Yeah.
Luckily, a griffin
Them
is animal.
devils and demons.
Yeah, and rabbits will just scatter everywhere and be terrified of you. So don't worry about that part. So yeah,
that would be awesome. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, shoo, and then I'll just run
yeah
away.
just because
Rabbit
you're
ball.
calling them might not necessarily mean that they're friendly to you.
this
A
is
rabbit ball would be a great spell.
this
Yeah.
is where
Yeah.
you need as a DM to go. This is imbalancing my game. I am
Mhm.
not doing it that way.
Mhm.
You know, and so I've got it. So if they're getting overrun with something and they want to throw out, I have these call spells which are in the Great Net spell book. Dog call, beetle call, right? ape call, troll call. I think they're really cool spells, but it's very limiting. At most, they're going to get two carnivorous. You know, I love carnivorous apes. Everyone, two carnivorous apes, and that's like 7th, 8th level caster. All right, big deal. Yeah, exactly.
And also make the spells so they are detectable. Meaning, if you use a high level summoning and you summon a soul or a planetar or some really cool beast, every demon, every evil, whatever within 100 miles around would understand.
Take notice of that.
Exactly. Say, oh, damn, you're gating in that thing. Every deity, being or priest or whatever might find out. So to speak.
That's my trouble with the whole super demonic I use incursion. It's like all the good deities are going to be like
Yeah.
And,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't need to go there in the
okay.
the shortcomings of Carl Sargent, and
that's why I think that I use as a bumbling buffoon is perfect. That's why the good gods aren't really worried about it. It's like that dude can't.
Yeah, and he's a prime material too. He's to the prime material plane. So what do they care? You know?
But there are in-game ways you can handle a lot of this in-game by making magic more integrated into the setting rather than just a mechanic stuff.
I use From the Ashes a lot. You know that. I'm just busting. So
I like his Warhammer stuff.
Tim,
Warhammer.
Both while you were away, both Will and Anna answered this. Give me besides your crits. No, you can talk about them. You know, in your theory. Give me something you've added or enhanced to the spellcasting world of combat. And you want to talk about your crits? Go ahead, and fumbles.
Combat or just
spellcasting in combat for combat purposes? Yeah, because this is about the whole.
The nature of magic and the way I run it is, it's through a ritual. So you're trying to channel power through inciting. Using symbolic actions, which are the somatic components. Using reagents or catalysts, which are the material components. A foci of sometimes there's a specific tool involved, and then you're using words of power to make this happen. And you can do it fast, which is dangerous, or you can do it nice and slow. If you do it nice and slow, you build up the energy and power. So you're trading time for safety. You build the power up, and then you do a ritual of holding. So now the power's built up, it's held and ready to go. And so in combat, you go blah, 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 boom, it goes off. Or you cast on the fly, which means half an action to get your mindset to remember everything, half an action to grab all your components, which you need now because you haven't prepped it yet. And then it's going to take you another full action. So it's going to take you almost 2 rounds to cast the spell on the fly, and you roll. And if you roll poorly, we go to the magical mishap table, of which I have.
Wow.
So that's the nature of magic. So every magic user knows his spells. It's you add up your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma plus your caster level, and that's your base percentage to cast one of your spells.
Okay. I'm looking forward to playing in a game with that.
So that means if you want to cast your healing spell at first level, you're going to have a good chance of doing it as a decent level magic user. I mean, cleric. So you can actually do this and heal without giving up one of your prepared spells, making you more useful in combat. But afterwards, in rest time, you have ability to actually do more.
Mm-hmm.
This is just to show that our first edition, Tim's and mine, are different. They're very similar in 90%, but they're different in some areas, which is.
And then I have, Do you want me to talk about crits?
Go for it.
So I mean, if you, my crits are from least to most, by the numbers. So if you roll a percentile dice, and let's say you roll a 30, well done, -1 saving throw for the target, or it goes off as if 1 level higher. So if you rolled a crit on your casting, you roll it, and there it is right there. Something small like that.
What's 0/0?
0/0, hair trigger badassery. You flick out the spell so fast, it was a free action. Cast something else if you want.
Oh my God.
It is.
But you had to roll. You had to roll a 20.
And that's an interesting aspect because warriors and stuff, they get more attacks as they level up, but spells still takes the same amount. But on the other hand, spells get significantly more powerful. So
one step
I
down
cast Earthquake.
one step down from hair trigger badassery is 96 to 99. You seem like you invented magic. You cast as if 4 levels higher. You do not lose your prepared spell, and any saves are at -4.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh-wee, that's
But that's
good.
if you roll a 96
Yeah.
after rolling a 20.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your magic fortifies your
earned it.
allies.
You
All
earned it.
allies within 100 yards are boosted, +1 to strength, dex, and con, and saving throws for 1 to 4 turns.
Yeah.
Because,
I'm
but
not
now we
adding
can
that.
look at the fumbles.
Give me a
0-1?
0-0. What's a 0-0 fumble? You cast it on
You
yourself.
totally ruin your reputation with an unmitigated disaster. Roll on the minor magical mishap, the major magical mishap, and the catastrophic magical mishap tables.
Oh, nice. I loved it. You ruined your reputation. That totally should be the thing. It's like you go into town and the other
that
wizards
means
are
you
all
have a
like,
minor, a major, and a
he did
catastrophic
something
mishap.
wrong.
Okay, the next one down is, you done messed up. Roll again on this table and on the major mishap table.
Oh my gosh, that's a regular fumble, right? Major mishap.
That's a fumble and casting, yeah. And if major mishaps are worse.
Yeah,
that fumble can do damage. You could actually fumble where spell magic overpressure. Your nose begins to bleed and continues to do so for 1 die 10 rounds. Make a con save or be stunned 1 to 4 rounds.
Ooh.
So everyone's got a little different nuance to their game, which makes it even more fun because especially Virtual Con, you don't know what you're gonna. Every DM you're gonna find a little different system, and that's what the fun of it is. And then so Tim, you use those crits in.
Right, and so I'm hoping people start trying to cast more so we get more mishaps.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, man. That's what I need an apprentice for.
That's
Anyone
right.
here,
He can do the casting for me.
Twitchy Shuckle's not sub there, Gabriel. Look, roll up there a little bit. Twitchy Shuckle is not, and they're not following either, so they should.
So may I ask a question of you guys?
Of course.
Please, of course.
Yeah. So how do you, because we need to talk about arcane casting and armor, so to speak.
Sure.
Do you and especially I guess since you have classes multi-classing, I guess, in elves and others.
Yeah,
so is it banned, very restricted, or it's percentage, or how do you guys deal with it?
I don't allow. Well, it depends on the system I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like if I'm doing old school essentials and whatnot, I go by those rules, and they're not using armor. I do like the way 5th edition does it if you are proficient in the armor, but I still don't allow heavy armor. So if you have to be proficient in it, if you're and no heavy armor. So
So back in the day, fighter mages were super powerful because they could cast in any armor because they're elves, right? And we thought I at least thought that was a little crazy. I removed plate mail out of it. So bandit or less, chainmail, all the other stuff is fine for the fighter mage. They don't get specialization, but it's not.
So you nerfed their spell casting a little bit, and
no, I haven't nerfed their spell casting.
No, I mean meaning they can't be specialists, which means that they don't.
Right? No, they can't be specialized fighters or any other.
Oh, gotcha. So you nerfed their fighting
magic
abilities.
users. They can't be. They can't be elementals. They can't be wild mages. They can't be any of that stuff. They can be just standard mages, or if they're gnome illusionists. So, go ahead, Tim. How about you?
I actually have never thought about the plate mail thing. It just never has come up. So
it's because a lot of our characters have bracers or have elven chain, right? So you don't have to worry about it. So elven chain's allowed, of course.
The lack of mobility is the biggest thing. And plate.
That's the way
6-inch movement rate is like bad.
Yeah. That's the way that I look at it. It's like they have to have casting spells. You have to have full range of motion. I also say that when they cast spells, you're not whispering, and you're like, it's like you're a cheerleader. Oh, your arms are going all over the place. And
that's why components are important. Meaning, do you have verbal component or not? If you don't, then no problem.
I don't know. Morgana, she didn't yell it when she was doing the
but she was cool.
The rime of making, right? The chant of making.
That's Helen Mirren, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's okay.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, even today, she don't have to shout.
If you have vocalized, you don't even need to speak.
Yep.
So
Yeah, but how
the
many
way
people
I
think it localize?
I do.
Yeah, I know you. That's it. Yeah, yeah. So good,
the,
Anna.
yeah, that was it. The way I've tried to handle it. This is only I haven't tested it yet. I need to test it in my next campaign going up. That will be that arcane casters, any casters, they can cast spells. First of all, they need to be proficient in the armor, and then they need another proficiency in casting spells in the armor. So they need to take a double proficiency for each of them.
That's
That
third
means that you
edition.
have. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so I kind of follow. So if you want to have, and that goes for light, medium, and heavy. So if you want to be a plate mail caster, you need to take 6 proficiencies, which means that then you've blown 1/3 of your spellcasting career just being able. So it's technically possible if you want to be the spellcaster who goes around in full armor, but that means that you will be effectively 2 or 3 levels lower in your spellcasting abilities just to do it. So it's a trade-off. If you want to do it, then you become less of a caster.
So I got a
Jay,
question for you, Anna. Then what
Yeah.
about? So this is like a 5th edition thing. I
Mhm.
think they definitely exist in 3rd edition. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Eldritch Knights. How do you handle Eldritch Knights?
Well, they have to basically they become half-ass in some ways, so to speak. So yeah, they can. The only exceptions I would have is that certain divine beings might give you the whatever they give you another enchantment, so to speak, or something, so to speak.
Yeah.
They might give you tougher skin or natural armor or something
I
like that.
the having
Yeah.
to spend like
Yeah.
you got to buy like in 5th edition you got to buy feet. That's the way
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
do it.
It's a budget.
You buy the feet, you can
Yeah.
do it, but you
Mhm.
can
Well,
only do it up
so
to a certain amount.
Jay,
Yeah.
would you allow Reginald to get a armor proficiency so he can wear his full plate while he casts the spells?
Yeah, man, that's only
as a
fair.
magic
Class
user?
human.
I know.
Yeah.
Let me think about that. No.
I called it.
Yeah. And elves have no special ability in that sense. The only thing they usually have,
Well,
I think, what we have in my campaign, they will have access to better light and medium armor, meaning Elven Chain is lower, so you need less proficiency in order to use Elven Chain than regular chainmail, for instance. So that's where you have the bonus as an elf, not the human can learn to wear to cast an armor just like an elf can.
The easiest way to do this is that metal interferes with the flow of the magical energies, so that there's penalties for everything you're doing if you're wearing metal armor.
Yeah.
I see that. I think that if you want an elegant way of taking care of that, that's the way to do it.
Well,
sure,
but that is the way. That is the way in old school 1e2e for straight mages and illusionists, but not elven ones, because then, as Celestia and Mike brought up, they're trained that way to cast an armor. That is the difference. It's specifically
you know what?
But I'm saying it's a magical flow. I would say that.
I think
light armor.
The whole reason that elves have it is because that's a carryover from the OD&D.
It's carryover from Lord of the Rings too.
It's carryover from Lord of the Rings.
That's what it is. A lot of stuff is carryover from Tolkien. It is. There's a ton of it.
But actually, though, those elves didn't really wear armor very much.
Well, Elrond did.
I don't know. I mean, Gary was way more influenced by sword and sorcery than Tolkien. He just threw the Tolkien in begrudgingly.
Armor.
It's like, here, have your trance.
Yeah. So everyone's got their own house rules for it, which is fine.
Well, the elves have been around. I mean, technically, elves have been around in mythology. He didn't have to take those from Tolkien.
As fae that are like, definitely different than kind of they show up in D&D.
Well, I don't know. In French mythology,
Field and full plate, though. Field and full plate there, Twitchy, didn't exist.
Arthurian, right?
All right, I'm convinced. Fine, I agree.
There you go.
Yeah, Field and Full didn't officially exist till '85 and the UA Arcana, the first one for first edition. And it was funny because back in the day we're like, why is Plate Mail Armor Class 3? Why isn't it? Yeah, what's 2 and 1? And then they came out with Field and Full Plate at that time, and so for the Cavaliers and all that. But it's a matter of your style. Nothing wrong. Like Scottish Jets Group only allows studded leather. No worries. That's the way. And for us, it was a matter of I didn't allow plate mail. And that was about 15 years ago, Tim. That wasn't like 30 years ago I instituted that. That was about 15 years ago.
Because it really doesn't come up that often.
Doesn't come up that
Usually,
much.
plate mail is not a.
Yeah.
I believe everyone would prefer the mobility of bandit over plate if they have to buy some armor, and the cost is kind of prohibitive.
Cal
as
Stiff,
well.
do you use Cavaliers? Because if you use Cavaliers, you should have field or full plate. I'm not telling you what to do, but
Well, the wealthy people that can afford it, Jay.
that's
Right.
right. Well,
It's
Cavaliers.
expensive.
The Cavalier has to buy the best armor they can afford. Because when they start out, they can start out in chain if that's the best they can afford.
Having multiple shields, I agree, is too. I know we're getting off the topic here, but that's okay. Having multiple types of shields is good too. Wooden shields, tower shields. I agree 100%.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Hearthguard shields, which we have for our shield thing character, which is dwarf only. Yeah, a proper suited plate is as mobile as bandit, except this by. So, all right. Once again, we got off on that, but that's good. This was a great question.
Stop talking about armor. Magic is better.
It appears that every single person in chat does spells and armor differently.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it's one of these contentious things in the game, though. It's one of these kind of tricky.
It's okay,
things
Cal
that,
Steph. That's why, because you don't have Cavaliers. That's makes sense. You don't have field or full. With Cavaliers, you need them, and we'll see a whole bunch of Cavaliers during the joust. Cavaliers are awesome. That's what they're good at.
Cavaliers are the overpowered ones that Jay overpowers them.
I overpower Cavaliers, right?
Yes, you do.
All right. Well, how come no one plays them that much anymore as player characters?
They got tired of it.
Oh.
When you play something overpowered, it's like playing with a cheat
No
code.
it's no
after a while.
challenge. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And they don't like the snobbery that has to go with it.
Right.
That's the bonus skill you get. Snobbery +1.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Twitchy, is that I have a lot of people who, because they stream so much and they pick and choose what that's the whole point of this discussion tonight, too. Pick and choose what you want to use.
Always.
Yeah, it's a code. Yes, the code. I heard New Jersey people
Wow.
have no. That's funny, Troy. New Jersey people have no trouble playing them. Problem playing them, yes. All right, look at that, man. We're 15 minutes in. So let's 15 minutes to go here. Let's
You just said we're snobby, Jay.
well, yeah, we are. Especially us South Jerseyans, the ones that aren't New Yorkers. I'm sorry, Rob Phantom. I know you're a New Yorker, Jerseyan. Yeah, see, he just said maybe those South Jersey weirdos. Shots fired there, Rob. That's funny. So we'll see Rob next Saturday, by the way. Next Saturday in a Scarn game coming up. It'll be good. I'll talk about that shortly. So, all right, let's summarize the discussion here. As we always get to a point in these discussions, we could go on forever, and we can always add on another show after this, just like we did with the fighters. So, Will, start us off on what have we surmised here in this discussion tonight? A lot.
Yes, as always. Basically, I mean, magic in combat. I mean, it's good, and I encourage all DMs to really play up the blowback and to hurt your players with it. And make sure that if they do things like burning hands to catch the room on fire and have them start choking on smoke, that's the good stuff. Don't leave that out. Don't leave that out.
Carbon monoxide.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How about you, Tim?
I've restrict your magic by creating political and schools that have goals, and then restrict what magic and what spells they have, so that way your guys don't have access to everything all the time that they want and have to do something to get it, to enliven up and keep them in their box.
That's
tie it into your setting. That is, if you tie it into your setting, they'll swallow that pill a lot easier.
Yep.
And
instead
really
of you can't do that.
Keep rare spells rare.
Right. And I know I have a bunch of schools I started producing and writing up, mostly out of the Great Net Spellbook, separating them out into like all of one. So you're going to have followers and disciples of that famous mage who like focus on his, and so they're going to have their spells, And there, if you want them to share those special spells, you're going to have to.
Should be just like sword schools. There should be schools of wizardry that follow a certain type of philosophy.
Right. Yep.
So, Tim, you just kind of described the Greyhawk mage there. You know that, right?
Yep. Absolutely. That's one of them. That's one.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Order of the Arrow is one I saw in a write up. Somebody had written that up.
Yeah, I remember you sharing that with me.
I took that idea and I ran with that one. I have alphas. I have all alpha spells consolidated in one spell list. So
well, he'd like to know that because, like I said, we had him on the show about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Tracked him down. I knew who he was. Tracked him down, and we had a nice discussion because he has, I don't know, hundreds.
And then, well, I'm using rune magic as well in there, but no one's run into it yet. Well,
I use tattoo magic. I use tattoo magic.
The plane.
Right. Yes, yeah. I use the magic items like that with underdogs, but there's so much more to talk about, Jay.
There is tattoo magic in these books, right? And I always show this one too. You want to get a really cool book with a ton of spells in it? Welcome Rituals Excalibur has some really cool spells that are useful.
It seems like tattoo magic would be something witches would do.
I have it at the Old Faith Druids.
Okay.
I have it. And so far, they only know of 2 in the entire campaign. One is
they're almost like witches.
One's in the Defile Glades.
Similar.
Yeah, almost. One's in the Defile Glades. One is in the Cairn Hills, not far from the Doom Grinder. Imagine that. In the rewrite of the Doom Grinder. So, shamans too. Shamans and witch doctors, guys, Jeff, are great because they can be anything you want. You can take any type of spells and just mix them all together and here's my witch doctor from my knoll. He's got elemental, electrical spells and some healing spells or some.
And you won't find any spell books to
no
your
spell books.
Friends, and the characters can't benefit from it.
Gitano, you're always so. You've learned from the school of Tim. Tattoo magic necessitates flaying tools for spell seekers. Man. Yes, that's right.
I had one. I had the needle with a little bubble of ink that would, when you said the magic word, it would tattoo a thing on you.
Yeah. Some cool stuff. So, Anna, how about your
first,
summary?
I have to second Will on this stuff. Make sure that your magic is not only. It should be way more than rules. It should be part of the setting, make it a little bit more mystique, and add some figure out as a DM how you want to magic to work in your world and why it should work in certain ways, why it doesn't work in certain situations. Write these rules down. Don't tell the players about them, so to speak, so you can have them as a card. So when then the spellcasters have to figure it out, so to speak. And also try to like combat in general, try to make the magic be more than the rules. It should be carry story, mystique, and thematic stuff, so to speak, more than just pluses and minuses and saving throws and stuff, so to speak. So those are my stuff. And it's also one of the key components of the game that I think is ripe for house ruling and putting new cool spells in there and how they work in the world. And also make magic is more than spells. That's the other cool thing. You can use magic in more ways than spells and figure out how that would work too.
That's a good torture. Ripping out pages of spells and worker. That was good too.
Yeah.
There's lots of fun things you can do. Once again, enjoy it, have fun with it. If you want to create, there are enough spells out there between what Ed has created, between these compendium books. And any edition, I imagine if you got 5th edition stuff, I imagine does Mike Shea make spells? Does Matt Koval have spells? My guess is they do, right?
Some. You'd be surprised. That's probably one of the things that is lacking. I think it's basically you're going to maybe see more of them come out with like the new 5th edition clones. Like Level Up. Does Level Up have new spells in it, Anna?
Yes. Yeah, they have, but they also.
Good.
Yeah, but they also done the opposite. They also compacted spells together, like Bigby spells. That is like the Bigby's hand spell, and you have different versions of it for different levels and stuff. So you start with the little punch, and then you get the big fist at the end. So
and we have new auto spells from Rob Kuntz and his new Return of Rublar publication. Auto we got a whole bunch of new auto spells in there. First edition. Yes. So add to my Greyhawk Mage. That and once again, Alan created it, and I've run with it. And Ed plays it, so there you go. So yep, whole bunch of cool stuff. So have fun with it. Note that mages are the integral part of D&D, and however you do them, and whatever edition you play. No, he's not, Jeff. He's a gnome in that book. He's not a gnome in my Greyhawk. So there you go. How's that? So
I don't believe any book that's got AI art in it.
yeah, true Twitchy.
If he's a gnome, he got
They
reincarnated.
are. It is missing.
That's what they were saying. That's
Yeah,
what they were. I was like,
it
whatever.
is missing.
He can shape change or polymorph as he wishes, so it could be whatever.
Yeah. On Tuesday, he's a gnome.
That's funny.
He could have some other mage cast polymorph other on him, so he looks like himself, and then he really is, because that's what
Shape
polymorph
change.
other does.
There you go.
Wish spell.
Yep.
Maybe someone.
Well, I
wish
mean,
me
if you
that.
don't want to give up the 5 years, then
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wish is 5, isn't it?
Yeah, but we've already established that no character dies through aging. So what the hell?
Exactly.
not true.
We have to
No,
make
not
them
unnatural
aging
aging. We're
nastier.
talking about,
Yeah,
like-
we have to make aging nastier. Those spells should be nastier. Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this discussion. I really did, and thank you all. So let's do some shout outs, shall we? And then we'll do 3 giveaways. All right, we got 3 tonight. So, Will, what's up? Got anything new on your Patreon? I know you got some new fighter
Yeah.
classes.
Yeah, they're the new
Let me
the
get the book.
bodyguard fighter kit just
All right, let me.
went up yesterday, as did. Now, I put a little I put a little blurb at the new 5th edition Druid, because and I was talking about how, like, there's only so many. I can't have a different Druid for every forest. It's like, come on now. It's like it's pretty much the same Druid, you know. It's
Right.
like, so this one here is some of the ones that I'm doing don't have as much of a Greyhawk connection as, like, say, the Black Ice Wanderer or whatnot. I redid the essentially Swamp Druid,
Okay.
because the 5th edition version sucks. So there you go.
What about the high alpine?
He's coming. Yeah. So, but
The fir tree.
yeah, it's has a it's hard to breathe spell thing going on.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's a Swamp Druid, and then I just did the bodyguard. I'm going to be putting out an update on the Lost City of the Soul. I've got some maps. This is only for those Patreons of the voting level or higher. You're going to get to see some of the maps, and you're going to get a little bit of a peek behind the curtain of that, because that's the adventure that I'm working on
How much is that a
currently.
month, Will?
$3 whole dollars.
$3 whole dollars.
$3 whole dollars.
There you go.
And you get access to all of my great player arc, the character archetypes and stuff, and all the other lore and different stuff that I've done, like all the stuff on Dimri, the I can never pronounce the name, Jorhas. I always want to say Jorhas, and I know that's not right, of the Bandit Kingdoms.
Sure.
I have to go to Google and put it in Google Translate so I can hear how it says it again. But yeah, so that's pretty much, I'm doing that. I got my my adventures in for Virtual Greyhawk Con. I got I submitted my stuff to Gary Con, so I got that going on. And
How many did you submit?
just one for virtual.
No,
Just
I know that. I mean, for CarryCon.
Gary Con, I've got 2. I'm going to be running Chagmat, and I'm going to be running Marvel Superheroes.
Oh, that's it. Oh, cool.
Marvel Superheroes, old
Shagmat's a
school.
good game. Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, you know what that is. Whoever that person is, they're from Ohio.
Oh, is that what that Ohio means? Ohio?
Akron is Akron, Ohio.
Ohio.
Ohio, Akron, Ohio, Akron, Ohio. I was like, because I looked at the name and I was like, "What? That's Akron,
That's
Ohio."
the first. Yeah. That's
So
the first game. That's the night I met Tim.
playing
Chagmat.
Chagmat, really?
Tim's uncle was running it at Jack and F's house, right, Tim?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, all right. Yeah, I love that. I love
Everyone's playing a
I love
barbarian.
this. I love the spiders in that. I think that that is such an underused race. I like those guys a lot. So I should do an expanded history on those. It's in my queue of things to write up and do. So someday.
Yeah, Marco was in North Akron, if I recall correctly. That's where he lives.
Yeah.
So he's out
Well,
there.
North Akron area. That's where I was at when I went back for my mom. Was that that whole general vicinity?
Curtis is running Champions. You're running Marvel Superheroes at Gary Con.
Ooh,
My, that's just awesome.
I'm curious to see which one fills up first. I have a sinking suspicion that the Marvel will. I think the Marvel game will fill up first. It's still got a lot of people who like that game. And let's be honest, I don't think anybody else is going to be running it but me.
I don't know. There's some weird stuff I've seen in posts, man. Stuff
I hope
I'm
so.
like, what the heck is this? Yeah, there's a lot. I think there's like over 500 submissions already.
Nice.
Which is great. Which is great. So they're going to have a lot
Nice.
more than that. So, well, thanks a lot for participating tonight.
Yeah,
We
thanks,
got
man.
2 giveaways
Thank
from
you.
Will coming up. So sit tight. Tim, what's going on with you, man?
Nothing.
What do you mean?
Just busy with life, and
You're busy with life.
I don't have any of this massive stuff. I mean, I'm working on those adventures I mentioned before, as far as the getting ready for the reverse dungeon, the city state, underdogs, but quite busy personally. So
Yes, understood. Understood 100%.
I'm tired.
Well, it is tiring. Life is tiring sometimes. I understand.
Well, you
that.
get to a certain age, everything's
Oh my
tiring.
God! Tell me about it.
Yes.
Getting up is tiring.
Yeah.
I'll be getting up at 4 a.m.
Oof. That's like when I have to get up to play your games, man.
Yeah.
I know.
That's it. Anna, what's up?
Well, finally, I've submitted my event for virtual Greyhawk Con. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yay.
So now there it will be a Shield Lance Recon Patrol with 5 slots in it. So if you want to play part, it's part of my campaign. It's not the regular game for my campaign. It will be a special operation, and it will be some snooping around behind enemy lines for kind of see if a big mission will happen or not, so to speak. And there might be some rescue. There might be some other stuff involved. So there might be a chance to meet some zombie goats. You never know.
Yes.
Yeah, I will provide pre-gens for it, so you will have a selection of pre-gens to choose from, and I will see. I will probably do it that the first one to sign up will be the first one to choose and stuff. But if there's no one, I will make more pre-gens if there's, and they will not be set in stone. So I'm definitely willing to negotiate, so to speak, if there are things you want to change and stuff. So and it will be my house ruled 5e that we will use as the system. And we will use it will be Twitch streamed, and it will be used Owlbear Rodeo and Zoom.
Signups are, remember, Saturday noon Eastern.
Yep.
This Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Signups this Saturday, 26 noon Eastern.
Yep.
I will be streaming, and we'll talk about that in a second.
And it will be a weird adventure because there will be hardly no treasure either during the adventure or afterwards. You get the stuff before you start. So to speak.
Nice.
And that's
very cool.
Yeah. You might find stuff, but I use in priests and stuff usually don't have that much valuable stuff laying around. So yeah.
So it's Sunday, and we don't even have a topic for Legends and Lore Wednesday yet. We got to figure that out pretty quickly.
No worries.
No worries. It's normally like that. And the week after, I unfortunately probably need to be off. I got a work dinner. It's going to run past 8 o'clock.
And
so.
Scottish Jeff, check your browser and make sure that you have taken away all the except cookies and stuff like that. So check your browser. That's probably why it doesn't work. Yeah. And security settings and stuff. So trust Owlbear Rodeo site. So it usually works.
All right, Anna. Well, thank you. And after this, maybe we'll get on Campfire and discuss what we're going to do on Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what's going on. So if you watched at all on Thursday, I threw them into the Twisted Forest, and only Bill kind of knew about it. And it's freaking nasty, man. read up on it. Now this is before all the Bill had all the extra terrain in there. So, but they came across an entire group of you'll love this, Tim. Prince of Ulick dwarves that were all possessed by ancient Sul that were there that were cursed all those years ago, right in this area of the Pomars.
Figures they probably felt at home.
Well, it's the way it happens is really nasty, and this place it was fun, but one of them was the cousin of the Prince of Ulick, and he was a priest of Moradin possessed by a high-level Sul wizard. Tried to trick them into touching those stones where other of his companions were hidden and were trapped in. They didn't fall for it, so they got into a big fight. Well, they killed all the dwarves. So yes.
So let me guess. There's no sign of their possession now that they're dead, right?
Well, they're dead. So yeah,
well,
they
there's no
haven't had
sign that
any
they were
erased.
possessed.
I don't know. I don't know what happens. There's rules
now
on
they
that.
just murdered the princes.
It's very possible.
Exactly. That's exactly what they
It's
did.
very, very possible. But
why didn't they try and subdue them?
And then
how do you subdue 5 fighting dwarves with weapons, axes,
entanglement spell, and then you maze them.
Stop.
Exactly.
Who the hell has maze?
Get that illusionist. That's a low
charm person.
They had illusionists in the group. Charm on a dwarf with all their saves. Come on, guys. All 6 of them. Yeah.
Dig a big pit and lure them over it.
Yeah.
There's ways.
There's dwarves, Jay. They're just dwarves.
Yeah. There's ways.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of beer should probably be involved.
Right?
The story
That's
continues.
the easy way.
Yes. With Clippers.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Rich will agree with me on this that the Sul aren't stupid. And they're trying to get them possessed so they can get more of their companions out. So
Patrick, you got it. Yep. More beer.
Give them beer. Yep. Yeah. But this continues on. This fight continues on Thursday. This whole thing continues on Thursday. They're in the Twisted Forest for a reason. You'll see. And they ran across someone who shouldn't be there, and Alan's character just blew him off, which I found bizarre. He was tired. He left. He said I was exhausted. It's strange. Now they're going to pay for it next week. But
who they ran into?
What's that? They ran into a half drow, half elven female who's out there. Said she had a tower. Said she's been out there studying for years. Says you want to rest? You can come with me. There's evil afoot. We need to do something about it. And they said, no, I'm not going to wait.
Yeah,
it was
What
weird.
could happen with that?
Tower.
What could go wrong?
You guys are
Right?
so paranoid. First,
it's Dungeons and Dragons.
She's that NPC that was made up in the group, right?
No.
No? Oh,
No.
okay.
See, this is the thing. You don't know about the Twisted Forest. Only certain people can even exist in the area. It's you should look it up. It's really nasty.
Sounds twisted.
This adventure, Corpse Recovery, which is Heather Hex, Little Bird, Phantom, Rob, Mike Disney, and Classic Sam's going to play for the first time ever. Everyone,
cool.
first time. And I got to get a character made up for her, and then we may have one or two others, or one other. But it's called Corpse Recovery. They're going to be tasked with going and getting these corpses back, because the other group's going to be like, don't care, So, because there's already enmity between the Prince of Ulick and the Knights of Ulick. We all know that. So.
Well, yeah, they keep killing their dwarves, man. Of course, the prince is going to be upset.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. I love putting the strife in.
The prince is not
That's
even
good stuff.
Schlemmin.
Yeah, he hates Schlemmin.
He's intimidated by him.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what's going to happen. Okay, Corpse Recovery. That'll be a special Saturday morning game at 12 noon. At 11:58, I will stop. And people online, you gotta no more Dwarven Ale going now to Mira. Sure, there is. It's coming. Not from the Prince of Ulick, but from the Alort Mills. You have Saturday. You guys got to remind me. Stop what you're doing. We got to open up signups for Virtual GrowCon because I'll be streaming at the time. And then here's the stream schedule again. Everyone in here, we're looking forward to it. We got a packed 3 days of streaming. Remember, not all games are streamed, so don't worry about it if you don't want to be on camera. Do not worry. These are the games. All these games and all these events have signups. Every single one listed has at least 2 signups, with one exception, Tim. But that's
You're
okay.
welcome.
Yes. So Saturday, here is and that's Tim's. Tim's has one sign up, and then we got all sorts of great stuff going on all day. Even Blue Box doing a late night game. That's the one they need a title for still. And then Sunday, we got streams on Sunday, and we got all sorts of other events. We're going to probably have roughly around 50 events for when the sign-ups start a week from Saturday. Please sign up. If you can't, like I said, if you don't have a credit card, reach out to me, and I'll figure out the workaround. All right?
So when did the sign-ups open, Jay?
When did sign? Noon Saturday, Eastern
Noon
time.
Saturday, Patrick.
Noon Saturday EDT. Which means if you're in a different time zone, it's a different time.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. You're all smart people. So.
Well,
yes.
yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
That.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
That's what's going on. And we'll have 4 streams Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday morning, Sunday night next week. 4 again. All right. Let's do the 3 giveaways.
I'm going to have to jump off, guys.
Yes, you got a game. We'll see you.
I got a game to catch. So, bye, everybody.
The PDF they email to you, right? They will get you in Discord. All right. So 3 giveaways.
Seeing you again. Yep.
See you soon, Will. All right. $25 gift certificate to Troller Games. PDF for his Ravens Rook. You got to get in touch with Will. He'll give you because he needs an email address for the code to send you through drive-through, and then I will send this out. The Ravens Rook card copy. All right, there are the 3 giveaways. So let's do this. It's exclamation point drawing, Varel. Exclamation drawing. Yeah, it is a great book. We'll do that, and then we'll rate in the Darling because they're back.
I'll be using it.
Yes, awesome.
In my underdogs. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Closing it out. La 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 la. Well, I hit a wrong button, of course. Close entry. First winner, Lucitios. Are you on? Second winner, Ren Karu. Are you on? I think Lucitius is lurking. Third winner, Lorcalan. Lorcalan, I think, is in Poland. So I haven't seen any of those people yet. Has any 3 of those 3? Have any of those 3 said that they are here? Has any of them? You're in the UK, Lorcalan, so you can take. You're the only one to say you're here. So Lorcalan, you can do the PDF or you can do the $25 Troll Lord. You let me know. Go. Tell me what you want, and then I'm going to choose one more. Because the other 2, I don't know if Rinkaru is on now. Let me take a look in chat. Rinkaru, I don't see on at all. So
this is voucher.
Yep. So you want the PDF? All right, Lorcalan. Whisper me an email address so I can give that to Will. Okay. All right. One more. Here we go. I'm going to pick one more winner. We still have to give out the 25. The other 2 did not claims. Here we go. Sparky, you got it. Sparky, you got the 25. Oh, there's Lucitios. So Lucitios, yeah, you're there. So do you want the 25 or do you want the hard copy? It's got to be U.S. based. So let me know. Do you want the $25 gift certificate, Lucitios, or do you want the hard copy of Ravens Rook? You tell me. All right. Lucitios, and then Sparky, you get whatever he does not want. Okay, Lorcalan, thank you. Got it. I will get that over to Will. You get the book. All right, Lucitios. Do I have your full name and address? Just whisper it to me in chat, okay? In here, just whisper it direct so I can make sure I get this to you. Just make sure Continental U.S. And then, so Sparky, you get the $25 gift certificate to Troller Games. So, grats, everyone. Is Sparky on still? Sparky's on. All right, and he's a regular. There you go. You got it. Awesome. Very cool. That worked out. So, Anna and Tim, thank you. Let's do, when we get this group back together, let's do the Druids one. I think that'll be a good one.
Druid Rangers, like the wild wilderness.
Because I'll talk about my Avenger all day long. You know, it's a unique class. So, yep. Very cool. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. And let's raid into Darling now that she's back on. So, Tim, anything you got to say there in closing? Anything else? Just enjoy
I'm just happy to be here. I want to talk about Druids too.
Good. We'll set that up for a couple weeks.
Yep. And
We gotta
thank
figure-
you everybody who support Patreon and all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's
and sit tight
really
for the
important. I
Ravens
love
and
it.
Darlings.
Yep.
Say hello to her. And everyone, we'll see you all Wednesday night. Okay? Have a good one. See you soon. All right, let me set the raid up. Raid it away. La la la. And then Anna, let's just try and brainstorm and get a topic for Wednesday if you don't mind.
Yes. Yeah. We need to. Yeah. I scroll up the list and see what Mike have come up with previously.
All right.
But yeah, we'll see.
Give me like a half hour. My wife's down the shore, so it's just my son and me. So gotta
No
get him
problem.
set.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a good weekend. See you Wednesday. Awesome.
Tell me when we're off.
Cool. Sure, that's good. Is that good? All right. Close this out.